Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dark with DLD After Dark. I just wanted to publicly state that my previous opinions regarding the Sig 320 have changed because it's the most trustworthy and strenuously tested handgun in existence. And I would like to apologize for all of my former complaints no, that's not right. Complaints regarding this platform. And I do believe that this is the most robust platform in existence. And the Sig 250, which eventually became the Sig 320, is the most robust, reliable, and best handgun on the planet for the money. And there's currently a mail-in rebate. If I just want to apologize about my former statements because Sig issued a massive deposit into my bank account, and I'm just kidding. Come on, y'all. Come on. All right. You all know that I'm always going to keep it real. Maybe I took that one a little too far. Okay. Look, I'm always going to keep it real, and I'm just going to come up to, based on the information at hand and based on the information that we have and based on the data that we've collected, I'm going to come up with my own opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion and what I've shared in the past is absolutely verifiably like 100% accurate. I'm saying that it's my opinion that I've come to based on the data that we have, right? And more data keeps coming up. But when something like this happens, And when somebody, a trusted source of firearm news information, comes out of the woodwork and does the most softball Biden Pelosi cackling freaking, I mean, the softest interview, one of the softest interviews, and I don't know. I gotta say, I'm kind of shocked that Military Arms Channel uh, handled this situation the way that he did. So if you guys didn't see, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me stop. Hey guys, how's it going? Great to see all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. For all the people that are going to be commenting how I've had a Sig 320 and I got 72 rounds through mine and it's 100% trustworthy and all that. We get it. Okay. I'm not saying that every Sig 320 is bad. I would actually say that it's likely that most Sig 320s are probably totally fine. But a combination of things, it appears, based on the information that I've, acquired. And look, I don't want to keep bringing this up. It keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. And they push it in your face. It NDs today or tomorrow or whatever. If y'all would just, you know, address the issue, and they can address the issue because apparently one of the armors came out and said, "Hey guys, I have a fix for this." Like within a week of making a statement, he said, "Hey, I have a fix for this, and this fix will guarantee that these pistols are all 100% safe." Okay, well, if that's the case, then you would be basically stating to everyone watching that's been watching for a very long time that that would mean that you'd be taking on liability for all of your court cases and all the issues that you're going with, because you're by you saying this change needs to occur for the pistol that to make it safe, then you'd be assuming liability for all the former pistols in the past. So they can't even fix it, because then that would be admitting fault, and they can't admit fault either for the legal reasons or the lawsuits and how financially ruining that would be. Um, but even because of just pride and ego and all those things. So we're going to get into it. We got a guest coming on here shortly, and I'm just a little frustrated because I honestly look. I've had conversations, and I guess look, all that doesn't matter, right? It's a small community of content creators, and you bump into people, you go to events, you see folks, and I'm certainly not like ripping at Sig 320s. Um, Me personally, I made the personal decision to no longer carry them because it's just not worth the risk, right? Same thing I said in the past, right? Everyone says like, "Oh, DLD bows at the altar of Glock," and whatever you want to say. I mean, if I heard like if Glock dropped their new, sixth generation Glocks and all of a sudden Glocks were just going off either by themselves, or even reportedly there were 100 incidents that Glocks were going off by themselves, holstered or whatever, uh, then I just wouldn't invest in the sixth generation of Glocks. I just wouldn't use them, and I would publicly call them out for making something that's unsafe. Like, why is that such a problem? So I think part of it is that people get so emotionally invested into the firearm that they choose, right? They select a particular tool, and instead of just treating it like a tool, they get so emotionally invested in it because they didn't want to be got, they didn't want to be taken, they didn't want to be taken advantage of. So basically, um, they end up kind of fighting for and alongside their tool of choice, right? Anyway, my bad, I did it again. What's up, guys? It's Dark with DLD After Dark, and we're going to get into a conversation tonight about the recent interview that had taken place between Military Arms Channel and SIG at their New Hampshire location. And got a guest coming on shortly that we're going to review it together. And look, you guys can let us know if a bunch of you guys had seen it. It would probably be pretty foolish for us to like watch the entire thing and comment on it. If you had seen it, then it would make more sense for us to just go through and talk about it together. There's also a lot of other things that have been coming up recently that should be discussed too. We don't need to necessarily jump in it right now, but there's probably 3 to 5 topics that we got to hit tonight. This being probably, you know, the focus of the majority of the show, but still going to be a great show. So stick around, hang out. It's going to be really good. So let's do this, because we know that this particular platform, this this platform, you guys see, I made that. Not only did I make that 3D print it, I catted that by myself. I literally catted that by myself. Not to mention, where's oh, I got this right here. Guess what else? We've been catting out here. Your boy is rocking and rolling, and I implemented just a few things to make them stronger. Right, these are the little definition knives, keychains. But look how much smoother them things are, bro. These are way, way, way smooth and strong. And I got all the hardware for the keychains and stuff like that. These I started doing some ironing on the face of them, and these things are like super strong. So it's cool. It's just something I've been 3D printing now for a couple of years, few years, actually, I guess a few years and some change, but I never really got into the CAD aspect of it. So it feels good to be able to like literally go in, create something, download the file, and send it to your printer. And it's like, boom, whoa, I don't have to get with a developer, pay a developer, and do all that jazz. So, anyway, just something cool that I wanted to show off, and also all of you guys that have recently gotten their shipments of definition knives, we'll have those thrown in there as well. Um, my intention is to throw them in with every order from definitionknives.com. If you guys don't know, I own DLD Hardware and also definitionknives.com. If you're into building stuff, check out dldhardware.com. Jigs for things like P80s and all sorts of stuff, merch, all, you know what? I so rarely actually hit that. There's a buttload of merch on dldhardware.com. There's some other stuff I'm gonna start putting up there. Man, I thought about it. Like, I was like, man, I could put ads for like, you know, pews that I want to sell and stuff like that, because it's my website. I can do whatever I want, and then just lawfully sell it between FFLs or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, a bunch of cool stuff up there. Slowly uploading knives and things like that. I, man, I'm going through some infrastructural changes with that and definition knives, and we're going to be dropping another knife, and actually another knife, and some more things. So lots of cool things. But the other website, Definition Knives, is where you can get super dope cutlery, very, very high quality. I mean, look how thick that thing is. Sheet thick. This is the Boyd. This is the DK1. Who am I kidding? You guys all know this stuff. This is the Copilot. The blue hardware is super popular. The Copilot is the number one knife that sells out constantly. This is the Birdshot, and all of these were named after, like, you know, 2A-centric content creators and things like that. And you guys are going to be seeing some other stuff pretty soon. For an example, the Journalist was a knife that was named after John Crump. So shout out to the homie. These are all made in the great state of China, and yeah, check them out. We got a bunch of knives dropping soon. You guys know about the Aegean. A lot of you guys ordered the Aegean. Shout out to you. I appreciate you so much. You guys may even see a new version of that soon. We're waiting on some things, and just a whole bunch of stuff. So go check out definitionknives.com. It's still set at free shipping, just out of sheer laziness. Haven't changed it. So there you go. Free shipping. Anyway, well, I'll wait till he comes in. So we're gonna have a guest come in. We're gonna talk about a few particular subjects. One we may need to go to the green place for, because it would not be good if we discussed it on the tube, especially YouTube. Anyway, but I'm Dark with DLD After Dark. We do a live show every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, usually 10:30. I had an issue with StreamYard tonight. I apologize. It wouldn't upload any of my stuff. I couldn't select, go back in to select the stream that was already active, which is weird. But I restarted everything, was able to get back in there. So what we're going to do is, well, first, actually, guys, remember, because YouTube doesn't share this content out with you know, anyone new, really. If you are new in the comments, shout out, drop a 1 in chat. All of our folks will welcome you. We have a really great community over here, or if you're watching on mobile, they'll be right below me. What's up, fellas? Anyway, like 86 and some change percent of the support from this channel comes directly from channel membership. So you guys are rocking it. I appreciate y'all so much. And from the Green Place, the Bumble with an R, Juan, appreciate you, bro. That's another place where channel membership is a huge support. And yo, Hot Dog 990, Drewski, all you guys are just, supporting so much. I appreciate all y'all. So just want to go through real quick and say what's up to all the channel members. And Toy Town Inc. came in here first. I mean, like the second I started, he was like burp, he was right in there. So shout out to you, Toy Town brother. Miss you, love you, appreciate you, my guy. And congrats on being first. So we'll do a crisp high five. No, you know what? You're a fist bump kind of guy. So appreciate you, brother. Let's go through and greet all the channel members and the moderators. Mike McClune, the Goon, brother, great to see you. Channel member and the moderator. Fat Rooster, brother, great to see you, who actually started a channel. You can click on his thing in the chat and actually go to his channel, subscribe. I'd encourage you to do so. My man is a Cerakote beast, not the typical onesie twosie that you'd see, like straight up like industrial Cerakoter in several industries, but also in the firearms world as well. So appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a channel member. Mike McClune, the Goon, not my name, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Eric Stockbridge, my guy. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Drewski, lifetime channel member. I just bit my tongue. Oh my goodness, that hurt. Great to see you, my brother. Also a channel member. And he says FATF, which you'll also find on every single package from DLD After Dark. Excuse me, from DLD Hardware, because yeah, FATF. Let's see, Mike McClone, the Goon, Drewski, lifetime channel member. Zanti Misfit, brother, great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Blue Curtain Burner, great to see you, my guy. Also a channel member. Let's see, Zanti, Drewski, Mike McClunski. Let's see who else we got here. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal, brother, great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you in Tennessee at Goals in August. So heck yeah. Let's see. That's Eric Stockbridge. I'm just going through looking at the green names. Anti-Misfit, Fluffy Bunny, Arsenal. I'm super behind too, Fluffy Bunny. T for Tejas, brother. Great to see you as well, man. Appreciate you, my G. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Fluffy Bunny, Drewski, Eric Stockbridge. There he is. Kurt 24, the producer of the show. Appreciate you, bro. Dang, like all that rhymed. I didn't mean to do that. Usually just the Kurt 24, the producer of the show, but sometimes other stuff, Anyway, appreciate you, brother. Not only is he a channel member, he's also a moderator. T for Tejas, Anti-Misfit, Agorizer, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see, T for Tejas, Fluffy Bunny, Zanti, Agorizer, Lightning McQueen. There he is, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Let's see, Zanti, Lightning McQueen, Aggie. I said what's up to Aggie, Lightning McQueen, Zanti, Fluffy. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Dang, I was mad behind in chat. Stifler Manufacturing, brother, great to see you. Not only a channel member, but he also runs a website and a store on eBay where he has super dope Glock stuff, like Glock slides. And if you're looking to put together a gun that won't sneak out of your gun safe in the middle of the night and go shoot people, put together a Glock and use Stifler parts, and you can use code DARK to save some monies there. So there you go. Zanti Misfit, Kurt 24, Eric Stockbridge, Lightning McQueen. Don't tell Dust. Nah, Dust knows what's up, man. He also understands that different people have different perspectives and opinions, right? Like, we'll get into it. Agorizer, Fluffy Bunny, Stifler, Fluffy Bunny. Armsman, I got your whatchamacallit headed out, bro. So you're good skis. I just had to get caught up, man. It's been crazy. Gort, brother, great to see you, man. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Also, channel member. And all these guys, man, long-time channel members, dude. I appreciate y'all so much, man. I literally could not do this without y'all, for real. Gort, Drewski, Gort, Agorizer, Drewski, Kurt 24, Blue Curtain Burner. Oof, he said, I watched it. Wish I hadn't bothered. Yikes. Yeah, it's like that. But we'll get into it. We got a lot of bullet points to talk about. Something that I may do tonight. I was thinking of doing like a some type of hey Gerald, good to see you, bro. Lawfully armed, good to see you as well. Sucks, Sauer. I see. I know I missed about Joe Morris, my brother. Great to see you, man. For real, bro. Don't get me started on that. Tech Money, great to see you, brother. Dang, how am I this far behind, bro? Let me just new viewer from Boston. Get to the car. You can see the harbor from the second floor. That's what's up, man. Welcome. Appreciate you. Sorry that you're in Afghanistan. That sucks, but I mean, welcome. Appreciate you being here. It's very rare that new people are here because YouTube does not like showing my stuff to new people, mostly because I talk about things like freedom, liberty, independence, and being strapped and, exercising your right to really install air conditioning in the faces of tyrants if needed. Drewski, Agorizer, Joe Morris, BV Lumi, testing, 1, 2, 3. Fat Gray Man, brother, great to see you. Taco Syndicate, all you guys, love y'all, man. Damian Cristo, my brother in Christ, great to see you, man. We're gonna get into it. Just remember, Christ is King, Christ is Lord. One day, every knee will bow. So why not bow now? Let's go ahead and get into it. If I missed you, shout out. Oh, my bad. I almost missed this. Blue Curtain Burner member for 21 months says time flies. Holy moly. Yes, it does, man. Appreciate you so much, man. 21 months of Chana membership. If I missed you, fire off in chat and I'll go through and say what's up, man. Appreciate y'all. And I want to make sure y'all get, the love. Hey, we got another new one. Arnell Flandes from from California. I'm so sorry that you have to live with that. And man, you want to talk about rules, laws, and regulations that are just absolutely insane, asinine, and don't make sense. It all starts there in the People's Republic of California. Welcome, bienvenido, and gracias por tu tiempo. ¿Me entiendes? All right, let's get into it. So for my first guess, we're going to go ahead and bring on from Sig Sauer in New Hampshire, Mr. Ron Cohen himself. Oh, I'm sorry. Red Dawn Readiness. Yo, that would be some. Yeah, y'all know he's not. Not happening. Not happening. All right. But anyway, Red Dawn. Thank you so much.
What's happening?
We got some good stuff to go through, and maybe even a few other topics. One we may need to go over to a different platform to discuss, but
Okay.
if you would to all the new folks, introduce yourself, let them know, because we actually have new people in here. Introduce yourself, let them know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
Well, I am a man of constant sorrow.
I literally thought you were going to be like, well, how to do?
Had a feeling. So I am Red Dawn Readiness. I'm also Civilian Outpost, which is still a channel that I have hope for, even though I'm super duper banned everywhere. I'm Red Dawn Readiness on all platforms, but I'm also Civilian Outpost on YouTube. And I'll probably be doing my live streams there because, yeah, I'll probably drop main content on RDR and Rumble. I need to get back doing some Rumble streams because they're a lot of fun. And yeah, you guys pretty much know where to find me after that. Thanks for having me on, Dark.
Fed Don, of course, man. I love having you on. Man, Robert Ham, I want to take a moment to focus on this. If you guys were here the other night, so what is it, Tuesday? So I think Saturday. One of the last couple streams. He came in.
Going home Friday. She got home Saturday, I think.
Okay, so then it was a Thursday. So okay, we all believe in the power of prayer, right? All of us discussed praying for her. He, gave, I mean, all of us you could pray and say, please, lay your healing hand upon Robert Ham's wife. He'll know, the Lord knows. But anyway, great news. The wife is finally home from the hospital. She's doing better, but still on the mend. Man, God bless you and your family, brother. Hope you're doing well and hope she heals. And we all know who the one true physician in the world is that can heal any person, any wound, any sickness. So God bless you and your family, brother. Glad to hear it, man.
Awesome, Robert. Good to hear, brother.
Yeah, man.
Me and the wife been praying for her.
Oh, and the wife said, okay, thank you. Robert Ames says, Dark, and everyone in chat. The wife said, thank you all for the love and prayers. That's awesome, man. Appreciate that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So, guys, if you're here, if you would make sure that you subscribe, it would be super helpful. Not only to DLD After Dark on YouTube, we also have DLD After Dark on Rumble, DLD After Dark on Instagram, and even on the Twitters and stuff, the tweeters.
Yeah, I don't know why my color is so red right now. Let's see if I can.
It may be like, it seems like
I think it's like the exposure. I think
you
I
got
had
like yellow light beaten down. Whoa,
better?
whatever you just did, just the clickety click just totally shifted it, bro. Ron Wayne, bro, great to see you, my guy. Hope you and Misty are well. G23, great to see you. Ron, I actually came across your Christmas card from you and Misty the other day. It was great. It made my heart all warm and fuzzy. DB, Big Easy. Dang, where are all these people coming from, bro?
all showing up.
I know, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
should we do like a mock where like you be military arms and I'll be Sig, and you can pretend to ask me the questions and we can show them the whole interview like that?
Yeah, I mean, what we could do is have you say, "Hey, as long as you don't say anything bad, I'll give you money." And if I were Military Arms Channel and I say, "Okay, let me see the deposit slip into my account," and I'm just kidding, I'm joking. It was a total softball.
By the way, I
idea.
have the Sig Cross and this MCX Spear and Sig Rattler right here for you as well. Thanks for having me on.
So right behind me here, we just kidding. John Crump live with the super chat. Thank you so much, brother. I actually was gonna say that tonight I may actually be open to doing something like either super chats, but then I thought about it and I was like, I don't really want to give YouTube any more money, right? So maybe we could do here. You know what I'll do? I'll do this because why not? I'll do the Cash App right there. It's up there, and I think. I don't know. What do you say? Maybe we take like 10 entries at $6. And so it's kind of like a waffle, right? 10 entries at $6, and we'll run for a winner between those 6 people, and someone wins a knife from Definition Knives. Because I mean, is that fair or is that unfair for that? I mean,
for $6,
it's
sounds
worth
awesome.
it in my opinion, and it's still, it wouldn't pay for like some of the higher end ones. Also, I literally just sold the last Boyd. I cannot believe it. Like I'm kind of blown because I didn't keep logoed one for myself. But for those out there that don't know,
I need to order a DK1 before they're on the back order.
There's actually only 5 left of those. So this is the DK1 right here, and it's got that. Bam! Look how gorgeous that thing is. It's got both sides, gorgeous box, and then of course it says the model number here, and then it also says the steel type. You know, whether it's 8CR13 MOV, D2, 154 CM. It also says that it is indeed your mom's box. So I think we'll do that. I'll put it out there because even though it wouldn't cover the cost of something like the DK1 or like the higher, it gets close, and I'll cover the cost of shipping, and it gives 10 entries for people to win. You know, if that's fair. Hey, thanks, man. Okay, hold on. So my bad. John Crump Live sent a $2 super chat. He says, "Guns we don't play." Now, I think I know what he's talking about. So let's go back to his other super chat. Thank you so much. John Crump Live with another super chat, $2. He says, "Why didn't I get a chance to do the Sig interview?" I think you know exactly why, because you would have, put a nice little fire underneath their feet, and they don't do that. They don't likes that. So look, I mean, I actually probably shouldn't say anything about what we were discussing. All right, let me keep an eye on this.
All right, we gotta beat this dead horse a little bit more.
I know. So if you could, for everyone, state kind of your position, your opinion, like your journey with the Sig 320, and just kind of explain, your position and all that.
Well,
Before we get into, I just think, I'm sorry. The only reason I'm saying that is because I think it's fair for us to kind of say what our personal biases are before we get into this conversation
Mhm.
to just for full transparency.
So, I mean, I was really getting into guns. I always had something at the house, an XD, an SD9. Is it the SD9, the Smith and Wesson?
Yeah, the newer one was SD9.
Yeah.
It was
So,
before that was like the SVE 9 or 40. Yeah.
yep. So, yeah. I mean, I had like just some basic pistols, and I was like, that's all I need. Um,
Mhm.
and I didn't really train with them either. I just figured I'd point and shoot, right? That was like before I got into training.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I had a kid, and while my wife was pregnant, I got the news that it was going to be of the female variety. And it just sent me into a mindset of like, okay, I want to stockpile, and if I have to become the guy from Taken, then I need to learn those skills.
Yeah. Special set of skills. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, we got our first Cash App from Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. You are the first entry, brother. So we got one. We got
Cool.
what, five more to go. So heck yeah, appreciate you, man. The Cash App is in the corner of the screen there. You get entered to win the knife of your selection, and it'll go out tomorrow. So that way y'all don't have to
Are we
wait.
doing 10 entries or 6 entries? I thought you said
Six entries of $10.
okay.
So
I thought you
it
said
pays.
6. I think you said
Did I mix
$6
it
10
up?
entries. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well, either one, whatever. I'll whatever times 10 is decent if left stock I get. Yeah, so most of the knives are, so some are 59, some are 69, some are 79. Drewski, dang, yo, Drewski just bought 4 slots. Holy
Nice.
moly. Hold on, Drewski, was that your intention to buy 4 slots? I said 10 at $6. Okay, whoops, my bad. I meant 6 at well, I guess it's the same thing, right? Yeah, no, I did say $6 because you were like $6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great deal. I don't know why people are sending 10, or maybe hold on, 6 and 30 is 36. So Drewski, how many spots did you want with that? Because you just sent me $40. So what's the Cash App if I can't use the QR?
Not
Oh,
for the knives. All right.
good point. My
Drew,
bad.
do you not want to be entered in? You got to be entered in, Drew.
No, he's got to be. Oh, dang! Not for the knives. Dang, Drewski. I'm gonna enter you in. I can't just accept that. You send so freaking much, man. So the Cash App for you guys, I'll type it in here. It is, and then I'll pass the talkie torch over to Red Dawn again. It is. I guess I changed it. It used to be not Dark Mavis. It is the dark Mavis. So it's $ the dark Mavis. And I guess we'll stop it at no 10 6. Send what you want, okay, I guess, and I'll enter people as they come in. I don't know, I messed this up, my bad, that's my fault. All right, so I got Drewski. I'm still gonna enter you, Drewski, even though you have doubles of all of my knives. And oh my goodness, and then you guys,
Everybody's saying $6 for entry.
Kurt just sent in $25 and said not for knives. Come on, y'all, you know I got to put you in there, man. Y'all have no idea how this is coming at a very good time, and I know I'm not the only one hurting right now, bro. Straight up, like I you know, anyone want to buy a Scorpion with a binary trigger? By the way, sorry. Let's give it back to Red Dawn. My apologies, I cut you off. You were talking about how 6 hours balls were on the chin.
Yeah, so like, all right, so like I was new to guns, right? Like I'm like, this is probably about 6 years ago, and I was like, everybody's got Glocks, everybody goes for Glocks. So I was like, I want to try something different. I want to be the different guy, right? Like the full circle of I'm sure you guys have seen the chart, like the super news, go Glock, and then like full circle is coming back around and going to Glock. But I was like, the military had picked up the contract for the Sig 320. I obviously liked Sig's idea of the 320. I like the modular system. I was like, wow, I can change the grips, I can change the size of the gun. Even though later on I kind of feel like FCUs are fairly stupid if you're just going to leave it as a gun. Like, you should be able to buy the gun that you like out of the box, not have to buy it and buy a grip module and change it. Now, I've had this discussion, but if you're going to do like metal grip modules or Flux Raiders or something like that, it's super cool. I like it for that purpose. But like just keeping it as your duty gun, there's no reason, in my opinion, to have an FCU looking at this, right?
Yeah. Unless you're going to have multiple guns. Because we talked about this. It's like, I don't want a complete gun and a bucket of parts. I want multiple guns, right? Like it doesn't make sense to me.
And by the time you spend the money on a bucket of parts, you could have had
a gun.
Especially
if you're getting like used surplus stuff from like AIM Surplus, or we've talked about that. Some of those Glocks are like literally damn near brand new, and they're like $3 to $349.
And I mean, Glock aftermarket parts are prevalent, and you can get them a lot cheaper. Like Sig, there's not like Sig slides for super cheap. There was, especially 6 years ago. So, anyways, I went the 320 route, and then the Legions came out, and I liked the Legion. I got the 320X carry. I had the 320 X carry Legion, the one with the threaded barrel. And, I was all into them, and immediately I got the Legion, and I was like, man, this thing it's a heavy gun. We could look up how heavy the X carry Legion is, but I'm like, I don't want to run this on the duty belt. So I bought a Wilson Combat grip module and changed that. And I had to buy an adapter plate so I could keep my rear sight, because Sig screwed everybody at first by literally the P365, the 320s. Like, they didn't maintain the rear sight on the gun. And then later on they came out with them. So later on, if you adopted their platform later, instead of trusting them from the beginning, then you got to keep your rear sight. Anyways, so then I got a Glock 45 because I was like, you know what, I should double my capabilities of finding mags and parts and everything. And initially,
but what brought you to that point? Like what brought you to like, oh, I want to expand to Glock? Or was it like, this whole Glock thing I'm hearing about may actually have, like what brought you to that decision? I guess.
I mean, like the gun store that I work with now, they're big Glock guys. Like, Glock is the main thing in the store. Everybody in there carries a Glock. So we've had a lot of discussions, and I mean, they also liked the Sig 320 for a long time, and they still don't have an issue with it. But all of them carry Glocks. And so it was just something that I was like, acquiring more things, and I was like, I want to give the Glock a shot. So I got the 45, and I did like it. I still ran my Sigs. I preferred my Sigs. I preferred the gas pedal that you could replace the takedown lever with. And I still liked how smooth it was. There were things I still liked about the Sig. And then I started seeing, because this has, like, some people think this whole 320 thing is like kind of new, and it's not. Like, this has been going on for at least 5 years, at least.
But honestly,
probably a
little longer. Because the initial when they were pushed out, first the 250s came out. 250s were the hammer fire design, and then it's interesting because you know what I also found out. So I thought they had changed the from the 250 to a 320 striker fire design from the original hammer fire design, so they could submit for contracts. That's not true. Their 250 was rejected.
Yeah, it was rejected.
So I didn't know the 250 was rejected. I was like, whoa, okay. So they literally were like,
the military told them they're not looking for a hammer fire gun, especially a polymer hammer fire gun. That was like not a thing that really ever took off. There's still some that are good, but they're not like,
there are good ones out there. So everyone chill out. BTG, I got your cash app, by the way, and I'll go over this with you guys. I can't see everyone's right now, but I totally agree. He says, Dark, what up, bro? I watched that interview. It was more like an opportunity to give a speech.
Facts.
I concur. Sorry, man. I keep cutting you off. Yeah, I didn't want people to think that we were saying that there aren't good polymer hammer fired guns out there. They do
Yeah,
exist.
they are. The military just was looking for a modular striker fire gun system. So SIG was like, well, we have this already. So let's just convert that to striker fire. And nobody
Retro.
else really had the FCU thing. Like if I go back, I think the Beretta APX has had it forever and has never got a market for it. Like no one has ever made jack. Even to this day, I think most people, when you tell them the Beretta APX is a FCU, they're like, huh?
Yeah, they're like, what? I think there was a couple weird ones. It's interesting because, like, if you look at even like a Keltec P3AT, that's kind of similar. It's just not modular. You can't do anything with it, right? But you literally can punch the frame out, disengage the sear, do the little pull twisty thing, and remove the whole serialized portion, you know? So they weren't like the first people to do it, but I think because they marketed the 250 in that manner of modularity, because there was a small market. I worked at a gun shop at that time. There was a small market for people that were like, okay, I want a full size 45 ACP, but I want to be able to carry a, you know, compact or really not micro compact, but like sub compact 9mm if I choose to, or 357 Sig was hot back then. So they did kind of start to drum up some attention, but when it shifted to the 320, I mean, that's kind of where a lot changed.
Yeah, I mean they popularized it, right? And so I was thinking as a prepper, I was a prepper before I was into guns. And I was like, well, if the military's running it and police agencies are adopting it, like mags will be everywhere in SHTF. So let me get this 320. And I was happy with it.
Yeah.
Then I started seeing some of them going off. There still really wasn't like, and even today, when people talk about like, if you drop it, it'll go off. It's like, that's not the issue. Like that issue has been dead for like 6 years ago. They did fix the drop issue, but kind of. But the fact that it has just gone through these stages and then seeing, you know, like I love my 365. I carried it for years straight. I bought the first gun I actually, before I bought a 320, I bought a Hellcat. And then I traded my Hellcat for a 365 XL and I carried it every day. And then, so that's when I was like, well, I like SIG. I like my SIG. I'm going to get the 322. And it had all those other benefits that I've already described.
Yeah.
And
you are correct, Drew. The Zev is an FCU. It came much later, but yeah.
So anyways, I saw some of the stuff. I got ahead of the curve and was like, I just don't think this is going to end well. And I started unloading them, trading them in for more Glocks, just getting rid of them. And I was glad I did. I mean, like, if you guys know me, you guys know I watch content. You guys know I follow people. You know, I don't just follow like the gun circle. Like I follow conspiracy stuff. I follow current news stuff. Like I
prepping, homestead,
all that. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So like being ahead of it, I just had a feeling that it wasn't going to go well. And then I think probably one of the biggest ones was Gungus Khan, I think his name is Gungus, the guy who had the X5 Legion go off on the range.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
His video's still up. And
he's like from like 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Yep. And so he sent his gun back to SIG. He got, you know, his pocket knife basically stopped the round and ricocheted the round off his body.
Woo.
And he sent the gun and they said it was the fire return spring. And he was like, you know what? You guys can keep that. I don't want it back. He got, I think, a 226 or a 229 for it. They said
that's the move.
Yeah. And so, but looking back, he probably should have kept it because it would have been like, this is one that has done this, right?
He probably had to sign a couple documents to, and they make it easy.
He had a YouTube channel and it happened on camera.
Woof.
He's got the video, like he's walking, he was shooting at the range, filming, talking about stuff, and boom, like, and his arms were up. I mean, some people say it could have been his, I don't know.
Maybe
right?
his
there's always
keys.
something.
His keys snuck in
keys
the holster,
or a jacket.
melted to maybe his keys were actually touched by a T-2000, right? The Terminator, the liquid metal. The
Mhm.
key falls into the holster, changes composition to a liquid compound, swims over to the trigger,
It might have been Tinkerbell.
discharges it. That's true. I didn't even think about that. That's a
I'm
good point.
I
Yeah.
think it's Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's very anti-Sig. She
She's super
wants
Glock. She's a Glock chick.
yeah, she bows to the altar of Glock, actually.
She does. So she could
Yeah.
be sabotaging them or something, but
Best.
yeah, I mean, I just got ahead of it, and I still to this day have my P365s, the macro, a regular XL. I have the double XL from FDesWorks. I mean, I have some nice. They're nice. They shoot good. I still like them. I trust them. They're not going to go off. I've been wearing them appendix a long time. They do have a
Mhm.
Glock striker style safety. I just think the deeper it's gone on, the internet has like slowly done stuff, and I have seen videos of them not being touched going off.
Mhm.
I think Valkyrie, I think it's Valhalla Tactical. He's a Green Beret guy. Makes videos. He made videos showing compilations of them going off. I
Mhm.
mean, there are videos where no one is touching them on camera. There's the one that Ben Steger posted where the guy puts his gun in his holster. He's doing a transition, puts it in his holster. You can watch like the angle of it's perfect. His finger's not in it. Puts his gun in. Boom! It goes off while he transitioning.
That's the one though. Apparently he had like turned and then put both of his hands up and they were like, "Well, what was his other hand doing in that brief moment?" Like what like that doesn't even make sense. Like he could have turned, reached down post discharge and done something. They're just it seems like they're trying to grab on to anything that we didn't do anything wrong. We can't make them go off. We can't duplicate these
For sure.
these
But
discharges so they
I've
don't
seen
exist.
videos of people duplicating this. Like I've seen people already online. We can pull up the videos right now of one guy puts it in his holster and he's like, I've been messing with this thing. And it's like an out of battery discharge almost, where if the slide is slightly out of battery, then the safety, the internal striker safety doesn't engage. And if you hit it right back in, it'll go off. So
Yeah.
it could be that. It could be, but the thing is we don't have, I have to say, we don't have a definitive answer.
Yeah.
My thing is that I don't really trust a brand new design that's been out for 5 or 6 years with the reputation that it has. It's the only gun with this reputation, and the every other gun is using a different style of internal safeties. And I'm
Yeah.
not invested in the gun. I don't like the gun enough to fight for it. Like I'm not going to be like I really am not taking an opinion either way. My opinion is this is what I've seen. If people don't like what I've seen, then I'm sorry, but I'm just telling you what my eyes have seen in the process of reviewing all this footage and conversations and everything.
And
I
lawsuits and payouts right
lawsuits,
before recovery.
payouts. Yeah. So it just comes across in very bad taste by the company.
Mhm.
And ultimately I don't trust the design. It's the only gun on the market with that design, and it's the only gun with this reputation right now. I
Yeah.
do hope somebody gets to the 100% bottom of it,
Mhm.
because I think it's possible too. I think there are some people that have already been very close and they're just doing it on a table. And I don't like the striker safety being attached to the striker itself. Like to me,
Yeah. And
it
banking on a secondary spring that has it's a slower reaction rate and a reduced weight compared to the weight of the striker. So you're banking on something that in all honesty probably will work 99% of the time, but through usage, through beating the gun up, through, running a buttload of rounds through it, through, whatever, tolerance stacking, changing parts and getting different companies, stuff, changing a grip module could change the difference from the height of the, which has been an issue, right? The height of the slide versus because that is where you get that connectivity between the sear engagement. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone knows like 100%.
Well, it
I
should
think
be
it's a
still riding on the
combination.
rails regardless. Like you almost shouldn't need a grip module. Like the FCU, you should be able to almost put a slide on it basically without even sitting in a module.
You can,
So
but the thing that so I noticed with like one of the P80 grip modules is it seems like the grip module is a little lower. Now it's still the slide still bites on the rails,
then
right?
yep, but it
But
pushes on the frame, and
yeah,
then
I can lift it up and get a dead trigger or push it down and get a dead trigger. So there's got to be, some type of relationship with that. But I mean, I think the reason that the striker is designed the way that it is because they would have had to have completely changed all of the guts of the FCU if they wanted to employ some type of like barrel cylindrical style safety
which
like block.
looking at how many you have effing produced,
Yeah,
you should have just changed the design. Like why?
of
Like
course.
looking at
I
this
mean, they did,
now. Yeah, but I mean, like you
but
should have
they
just built a gun from the ground up. Like what would it be? Why just keep the 250 in place? Like you don't have to. Oh, okay. You guys want a striker fire? Oh, just cancel that gun, guys. We're gonna
yeah.
why?
Let's
Why?
pop the slide off of it. Here, I'll explain why. Because we're talking about the same company that to save $30 a unit, which times multiply by 3.5
So that
million
has been a
units.
big contention thing today. Is the $30 a unit? I don't
What
know
what
if you've seen, but
about I haven't seen that. About well, just to explain it real quick before we get into that, because
yeah.
I wasn't aware.
So $30 a unit is not a real number according to Focus and not Military Arms, but Forgotten Weapons. They've been going back and forth all day on
Okay, so
his
that number
statement.
was made up
Yeah,
or
it was just saying like fictitiously of let's
okay, so they just
do
threw a
this.
number out there.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess regardless of what it is, even if it was $1 a unit, right? What we're referring to is there was previously the striker, the little dog leg. It's the striker safety, which previously was a stamped piece of steel, and it was alleged that Sig started getting that part mimed in India to save X amount of dollars per unit. And based on 3.5 million units sold, if you average even $1, or you know what, even if they had already moved 2.5 million units and then just saved $1 per unit after that, that's still $1 million, right? So trust me, like in running a business and running DLD hardware and definition knives, if I save $1 per item that I ship and I ship 10,000 packages, I save $10,000, right? So like I totally get the big picture thing,
That's
but
why your definition knives are now coming in Ziploc baggies, but not the Ziploc ones, the ones that you lick first.
yeah, like with the tape that you have to like run a wet sponge on first. No, all definition knives come in this glorious box that actually belonged to your mother.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway,
You once came through that box yourself.
yuck. So okay, well, I appreciate you sharing that, and I think it's important to know kind of before we get too deeply into this, because it kind of our colors are already starting to show a little bit, but basically like I'm kind of similar in the way that like I evaluated this, like, and I'm sorry, I'm super far behind in chat. I accidentally clicked back here, so if I'm missing something, my apologies. But let me go back here. I did get y'all's cash apps to enter into the free knife, which we'll have to do in a sec. So please stick around, and then I'm going to take the names in the cash app. I think what I'll have to do instead of doing the wheel, because that's yeah, it's kind of whack. what I might do is just take note of the people that have sent the 10. Most people actually sent 10. A few people sent 6. Tex Bullington sent $10 and said 6 for the knife, $4 for fun. Thank you. So for you guys that sent them in, what I'll do is I'll probably put a hashtag for just you guys to type in for the giveaway. So stick around. We'll do it here shortly. Some of you guys, do me a favor. If you sent a Cash App, because some of your names are different than your usernames, and I don't want to totally dox people, do me a favor and type in definition knives in chat, and I just want to make sure that I can cross reference here. So do me a favor, type definition knives in chat, and then we'll do the giveaway. I think all the slots are filled. I guess I could give away a second one as well, but we'll see. So okay, so nice, thank you guys. I'll go back on that. So for me personally, I've been shooting for just about 2 decades, and used to work at a couple gun shops. Had been working in the industry, mostly in sales, never in any. I worked at an SOT, and we did some cool, fun machine gun stuff, but for the most part, I was doing sales. And I left the gun shop like right around the time that the 320 started to come out and gain popularity. And I'm not a Sig hater at all. I own a bunch of Sig products. I would love to have a Sig 226 Elite. That is like one of my I drool over those guns, man. They're just remarkable firearms. I love their classic line. I personally think the 320 is not worth the potential risk, right? Same thing, like I said, for people out there that are like, well, you're just a Glock shill, and trust that Glock has never sent or even considered sending me one singular dollar, okay? But if Glock came out with its 6th generation and there were 100 alleged incidents where the gun was going off by itself, and they had changed the design to something else that was going off on its own, or people were alleging that it was going off on its own, the consequences of that are way too severe to play games with. And coming from someone that owns a $2,500 Sig SBR, four Sig handguns, I got Sig 365, 2 Sig 320s, 2.5, 1 320 that I built on them up 24/7, 80%, and the Sig Armsman, the Sig 290. So I think that's what it is, 290. Let me know if I'm incorrect. The single stack 6+1 or 8+1. It's a cool gun. It was one of those weird things that I just wanted really badly because it's funky, but also kind of useless, stupid, way too heavy, but really cool as well. And I'm grateful for you, Armsman. Thank you, because I do like weird guns.
Steve Whoop, do you have an MCX Virtus, or do you have the Spear LT? 290, yeah, P290.
290. Okay, I thought so. Here, let me check this real quick just before I continue. Where do we go with the definition? Okay, there we are. All right, so blue curtain burner.
What barrel length do you have, and what are the issues, Steve Whoop? I need to know. In 300. Okay.
Let me guess. Barrel whipping, accuracy issues, and shredding the jacket off of projectiles and causing baffle strikes. Is that in the neighborhood of close to accurate? Maybe. I'm just saying.
9-inch. I'd get the Arasaka.
Blue curtain burner.
Arasaka makes a piece for the spear that helps.
Robert Ham. I may need you guys. I don't see. Okay. Some of you guys have different names. All right, so I got that.
None of those yet. What's the issues you're having, Steve? I need to know.
Thank you, bro. Fluffy Bunny said he sent another $10 and said this one's free, not an entry. Enjoy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, I got not my name. I got the person that it says GAW, do me a favor and respond if that's you. GAW. And Kurt 24, Mr. Stockbridge, Drewski, Fluffy Bunny. All right, I think I got everyone else to make. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Okay, the person that just sent me that to make it an even 10, sound off in chat so I know who you are. Thank you for doing that, by the way. That you didn't have to do that. My bad, guys. There's just some operational stuff I'm working on here. Oh, not my name. Okay, my bad. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So for all you guys that are like, what in the heck is going on in this live stream? I put my Cash App thing in the top up there. We're giving away Definition Knives blade today, which honestly at this point, so hold on. So if I got 3 more, I could give away 2 knives. Hold on. Did they just send another one?
Here you go, Steve Whoop. I'm going to drop the link for it. It's a 0 retention clamp, which just helps keep the rail and the barrel and the upper receiver all a little bit more sturdy and you know, from preventing some of that shift in the rail and the barrel.
Okay, not my name. BTG, Tex Bullington, Fluffy Bunny, Robert Ham, Stockbridge, Blue Curtain Burner. Okay, all right, we got everyone. I guess I could open it up and 3 more if you want to send. I guess everyone's sending $10, but I said 6. If you want to send 6, $6 will get you an entry. If we get 3 more, then I'll give away 2 knives from Definition Knives, and this covers cost and shipping and all that. It just gives you a chance to win for like $6, which is a good deal. It doesn't quite pay for the full MSRP of the knife, right? Like I see when people are doing like these waffles or whatever, they're like giving away $1,000 gun, but then they have like $2,000 worth of slots out there. It's like, bro, come on, that ain't right, So this actually would be. If it was like a birdshot or a journalist, it would actually cover the full cost, less shipping. But it's the user gets to pick of what we have in stock. I think the Boyd is the only one we don't have currently in stock right now. We can double check, and this does include the Aegean. So for you guys out there, get to pick? Yeah, you literally get to pick. So if you pick the $79 DK1. For your $6, you get it. So we get $60 and you get a $79 DK1 plus shipping or whatever. So
assault raffle.
Assault raffle. I love that, dude. I may use that somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's fire. Okay, so stick around. So guys, stick around. I won't make you wait forever, all right? But please stick around. Don't leave because, I want you to get a chance to win. But we're going to have to use a wee little bit of the honor system, okay? I love that, man. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm a SIG owner. I own, like I said, a $2,500 SIG SBR, the SIG 290, 2 320s, and a SIG 365. And one of my lust guns that I would absolutely love to have is the SIG 226 Elite. And actually, if anyone out there has a SIG 226 Elite that they want to get rid of, holla at your boy. I'm also selling a Scorpion with a binary trigger and a bunch of extras. Anyway, so I don't hate SIG. I don't hate SIG as a company. I don't want harm to come to SIG. I don't want their company to suffer. But I do expect when things go wrong with a company that they address it appropriately. Would you say that SIG has addressed things appropriately so far?
I don't know. I mean, I think from a company perspective, from their point of view, I think they're handling it correctly. And I don't know what other plans they have for where this is going. I don't know if they're looking ahead or if they're just mind blown. Like, we've fixed this shit multiple times. We didn't know that some of our MIM parts were shit. We never QC'd them, so we never touched them. The ones we did QC, everything was good. So like, I don't know. I honestly,
Yeah.
the longer it goes on, I think it lends to Sig's favor. I think if nobody can knock it out of the park, there's no one that steps up and knocks this out of the park. It's gonna lean towards, you know, most people, you know, even now the water's getting so money where it's like maybe some. Did I freeze? Can
A
you hear
little
me?
bit, but your audio is
Okay.
still coming through.
So even now it's like, did some people make some mistakes and run them in the wrong holster and get something caught up? Maybe 20% of them did. How many have gone off versus how many have they produced? The odds of it still happening to someone is fairly low. I have seen a good explanation. I think I sent you the one video on it. I forget the guy's name, but what some people were saying is that because that ledge of the striker safety is so small, and that with a 1 millimeter shift of, I think it's, a 1 millimeter shift.
0.8.
Okay. That
Almost 1 million.
so that would release it, right? But what they were saying is that cops carry their gun loaded for a long period of time. And a lot of times they don't unload it at all. They keep it loaded in that holster. It's jumbling around all day. Boom, boom, boom. Like, concealed carrying is, your gun's not taking a beating like a cop in a duty holster and outside the waistband, in and out of a car, banging up a hitting the steering wheel. So like, that whole motion of just constantly hitting this under full tension seems like it could be more of an issue. Now there's other people's who have gone off and they're not cops. They haven't been jumbling it around constantly. But there's just such a muck of everything going on with this that unless someone steps up and knocks it out of the park and says, this is how these guns are flawed, I think Sig is going to come out on the good side of this. And I think that's the calculation they're making. And if it is a failed part and no one can find one of these failed parts to show it, and they can just say, well, it could do this, Sig is still going to make out in the end. And I think hopefully, at least, this is what I hope from Sig. In the long run, they phase that gun out. And that to me would even be an admission that they knew that this design was not a good design. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't think I'm going to make a difference. I don't think my opinion's going to make a difference. I just personally, I'm not going to run them, and I'm excited to see where it goes because it is a lot of entertainment, and I'm mechanically interested in firearms. I like the mechanics. I like to learn how things work. I like to see people breaking stuff down. And I think we're still in store for a lot of entertainment from the creator world and Sig itself.
Yeah, and I agree. So for me personally, I have zero intention of influencing anyone to purchase or not purchase or sell or don't like to. My intention is not to do any of that at all. If you run a 320, dope, run a 320. If you make a personal decision to not or to run one, or that's a personal decision, and I want to make that very clear so that if for some reason someone were to come after a certain content creator for torturous interference or for trying to hurt them or something, I could say, hey, I absolutely had zero intention of going after anyone for anything like that, telling anyone you shouldn't run this, you should run this, you should. I just, like Red Dawn said, I made a personal decision to break them up into 200 pieces, lock them up into different states, and put them in lock boxes, never see the light of day, and make sure that no ammunition is within 100 yards of either one. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. They're just in the safe, unloaded. But actually, for a while, one of the 320s was in one of those Hornady safes that you can just run the little RFID over and beep, and it was in there, hot, round in the head. I changed that. Anyway, so that's kind of like both of our outlooks on this. But regarding the specific interview itself, um, I gotta say, man, the way that I've looked at Mac Military Arms Channel, it's not his name, but Military Arms Channel, and the way he kind of goes about things, he does typically tend to go about things from a an outlook of transparency, honesty, true evaluation, and he doesn't seem like bought and paid for by anyone. And dude, when the 365s came out, he was actually one of the ones. If you guys remember, go all the way back to when the 365s came out, everyone was saying, "Don't buy them; they blow up." And when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my goodness, they blow up!" It was a little.
I
bit
always
of
heard that initially.
That was not their issue, by the way. But that's
Their biggest issue was that they were having. There was a problem with the striker itself.
yeah.
And it was scraping primers, and it just wasn't functioning properly, and they changed it.
Do I? Of course, the SVD. Oh wow, that's right. Yo,
What's the
I didn't
SVD
think about
incident?
that. Woof. I mean, that's something that should be discussed. Because so I was talking about from like a review, like honestly, from a review
Striker drag,
standpoint.
striker drag, striker drag. Yes, yes.
However, I will say this: there was an incident where his integrity, where Military Arms Channel, his integrity was drawn into question because he had said like, well, actually, no, a bunch of people were coming together to purchase a bunch of these very, very expensive SVDs, which are the like Dragunov style rifles in 7.62 by 54R. They are incredible rifles, right? I mean, they're essentially like if you watch any like old GWAT movies, like they are the sniper rifles that like Afghani soldiers are using and stuff like that. So anyway, this group of guys, I think it was on Reddit or some type of forum, all came together and all put a bunch of buy money in together to get a run of these guns made, and we're waiting for the manufacturing and of all them to come through so they could get imported and like pay the rest or whatever. And apparently Tim from Military Arms Channel had, I think it's pretty well known what his name is, had caught wind of it and actually jumped the gun and hopped in front of everyone and called the manufacturer and said like, I'll pay the entire price tag straight up right now. And he actually jumped in front and bought all of them, leaving all of those just average Joes that put their money up totally like in the dust, screwed. I don't know if they got their money back. I think the manufacturer kicked their money back to them. I don't know. DJK, let me know if I may be right or wrong. But and then what he did is he proceeded to post them all on Gunbroker for ridiculous amounts of money because they're like you can't get them. They're just crazy rare and crazy expensive. But anyway, yeah, that's I didn't even think about that. What I was talking about was like honesty. He seems honest when he's reviewing firearms. I didn't even think about the SVD incident. So good look on bringing that up. At the time when I was hearing about the 365 was about the same time that the 43X came out, and I was like, I'm carrying a 19. I was actually carrying that Chrome 19 right there, right? Yeah, right there. And I was like, I'd like to have a smaller carry gun, and the 365 dropped and the 43X dropped, and I was literally about to pull the trigger on a 365, and I talked to a few people and looked it up, and people were saying they were blowing up. So I was like, dude, that's terrifying. So one of my boys who actually moved out of the area was like, dude, I got a 43X with like the nickel PVD coating on the slide. Barely got any rounds through it. I'll give it to you for 350 with all the extras, all like he had a bunch of holsters, magazines, all sorts of stuff. So I was like, hey, 350, dude, that gun is paid for itself, right? I carried that for like 3+ years. And a lot of you guys know I was carrying that 43X for a long time because it was actually one of the last guns that I bought in Virginia where I did not have to do a 4473 for it because it was a private transaction until Virginia turned into, stupid tyrannical BS state. So yeah, I grabbed a 43X instead, but I still had interest in the 320. I still was curious about it. I still wanted to, I mean, I was seeking out information about it, and I didn't pull the trigger on one until, because I was very deeply into 80 percenters, and I still am, still love them, but I haven't been building as much just because time really. Um, and I found out that there was an 80% Sig 320 FCU called the MUP 24/7, and I was like, bro, that's fire. Let me get one. Actually, JSD Supply and Patmos sent one, and they sent all the components to put one together with factory Sig internals, by the way. So I put one together, and I was just completely unimpressed with it. Fun project, but I was unimpressed with it. But I attempted to carry it for a while, shot it a bit, and never had any issues with it. I tried to, when all the issues were coming out about the first, this was post first recall, because I got one of the, super flat, thin, light triggers. The first recall was about the thickness and weight of the trigger, that if it was dropped from a high enough level, the amount of inertia would pull back that mass on the trigger, which would, of course, engage the striker. But yeah, Detective John Kimball says they were supposed to be around 3,300, and Mac tried to sell them for 7K after he has videos out saying he hates scalpers. Yeah, I remember that, dude. That was terrible, man. Thank you for the reminder. So I saw, sorry, the whole thing I was saying was, I actually saw, after I bought the 43X, I saw Tim from Military Arms channel doing videos on the Sig 365, and he explained the issues that they were having and that they had been fixed. And I was like, well, dang, I kind of want one. It's way smaller, way more narrow, and it seems like it'd be way easier to carry compared to the 43X. But I ended up building one, or assembling one with a serialized FCU years later. And it's a cool gun. It's just not my thing, man. I thought I could get it to go off with the whole alleged shake awake trigger, but I think that was a sympathetic squeeze from my part. I don't think that it was something where the gun malfunctioned. But so I guess the thing that I was kind of bothered by was that, I'm going into this thinking like, okay, maybe with this video dropping, maybe we'll finally get some tough questions answered. Maybe we'll finally see, Sig kind of put under some pressure to have to answer honestly. And not only was I totally blown away by the amount of softball questions, I know in these types of interviews, it's common for the questions to be reviewed by both parties in advance for like higher level interviews. Okay. But I was just kind of upset when, like, Tim asked the first question, and when Sig started to explain, he said, well, that's kind of getting into your next question, so I'll hold off on that. And I was like, oh, bro, so like this is totally staged, all staged. Both of you know all the questions. Like that's not how conversations should happen, right? I could see this being like, okay, Tim from Military Arms channel and dude from Sig and two attorneys behind the camera. Like, you can say that, you can't say that, you can't, because they're trying to CYA. Almost like when they were in a lawsuit and they were about to go to discovery, and for some reason Sig didn't want it to go to discovery, because who knows what they would find when they start requesting documents, cell phones, emails, messages, internal documents, maybe even internal video surveillance, who knows. And then they said, hey, we'll settle with you out of court for $11 million. But they didn't do anything.
$11 million.
That's insane, dude. $11 million for privacy. That was the first thing that made me be like, whoa. Like, before I was like, interest level here, curiosity here. You paid $11 million to keep your books closed to everyone?
Bro, when Dark found
What's
that
in
out, he
there?
was at home hitting that 320 with a hammer for 2 weeks straight.
I still am. Every night before I go to bed. Whack, whack.
11 million. 11 million.
Yeah. Pointing at my legs, son. I'm just kidding. I'm just because now if a 320 ever goes off on me, they're gonna be like, you said it on camera.
Got him.
Yeah.
Everything is this is definitely joking.
All of it is jokes. Jokes and jokes and jokes.
Jokes and jokes.
Yeah.
I like the 938. I got to shoot a 938 recently. It's a nice little gun and it actually shoots good. Like I always thought it would be super snappy. The 938 shot really nice.
It is. You know what's honestly one of the coolest guns? It's foolish, useless, dumb, but the 938 Scorpion with a threaded barrel with a can. Yo, put a can on that thing. It's just like,
like Luigi should have used that. He'd have done better.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he would have had to, rack it every time. But if you put a really heavy can at the end of a Browning style firearm and you don't have a linear inertial decoupler or a lid piston booster Nielsen device, your gun's going to fail unless you have a banished 9K, but we won't talk about banish anymore.
No, they're banished.
Yeah, banished is banished. Silencer Central. More on that later.
I'm glad because I heard way too much about this.
Dude, it's so I mean, there's some folks talking about it. We're gonna hit that tonight, and y'all get ready to have your mind blown. We're gonna
is
talk
the floodgate open?
I mean, the floodgate's open, but I'm gonna talk about what is alleged. I did not personally review the document, but the first instance is 100% verifiable. So I'm going to talk about based on what other people had said, but we can get to that a little later. So much for allegedly. Anyway, so what were your thoughts on the interview?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed scripted. It seemed very fuddish. It just like reeked of FUD all over it. Like two older dudes who were like, "Oh, let's act like we're having a real discussion here," and it just reeked of FUD. And
totally reeked of staging.
There were some questions that I thought he, wanted to dig in deeper on and didn't, like the fact that the P365 striker safety is completely different design. Like, why did you design them differently? Right? Why didn't you just shrink your 320 if you thought it was great? And because
that's all we could do based on the 250 design,
right? And then some of like the testing of the firearm and we drop it from 26 different angles, and the sand test, the this test, the that test, and I got it.
Oh, I did it. Inside the Safari Land, I was able to get it. It hurt though. Like, it was not easy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's just a lot of people that have 320s that also happen to do really stupid things. Dumber than any other gun owners out there. It seems that the frequency of 320 incidents on camera, if it is all user error, then there's something in a correlation between stupidity and owning a 320 that just you have really bad skills and really bad habits and really just are a goofball who likes to dangle everything you can into your holster. I just don't get it. And honestly, at this point, I'm just interested in it. I just find it fun to follow. I think Sig getting ripped in all the comment sections is classic. Like, I run straight to the comments for everything. I'm like,
I literally, like, when I was reading, it took me longer.
NDs today is going to be a slogan forever.
Yeah. And then I saw, it's funny because I saw one comment that said Sig 320 owners, it indies tomorrow? Question mark. Like, who knows? Maybe it does. But the funny thing is that I thought I would have to go through a bunch of real comments to find the funny ones. No, you got to go through buckets of, just like smoke and sig to find one like real one. It's crazy. The ratio is nuts. But
there were some good comments that I think we should take a look at as well.
yeah, I'm down with that. I mean, part of me wanted to like pull it up and at least like, I don't know, not like watch the whole thing because that's kind of whack, but I just, when you're dealing with something where like the designed outcome of its effective use on a target is total annihilation and death, and I would not want to uh put that risk on. It's not worth it, right? Whatever it is, like I mentioned, a lot of people say that like, oh, you are such a Glock fanboy or whatever. Yeah, because Glocks work and they don't go off by themselves and they don't sneak off in the middle of the night and rob liquor stores. So I trust Glocks. But then there was another issue where we had a friend that passed away recently, and it came out. We thought it was a 2011 style gun that was the culprit. Just to explain what happened, he was holstering his gun to put the gun in the holster in his waistband, and he dropped the whole unit gun in the holster. As it fell, gravity took over, and the heft and weight of the magazine being loaded, turned it on its, magazine down, barrel pointed up, and he leaned over it. Love you, Jonah. Miss you, brother. R.I.P. And he tried to bend down to grab it or stop it before it hit the ground, and the gun discharged on its own. And because he was leaning right over it, the round struck him in the head, and unfortunately, he passed away right in front of his girl while they were like that morning going to look at engagement rings together. Like the most terrible story. And I knew he had a prodigy, so I figured it probably had to have been the
Rest in
prodigy.
peace, John.
Yeah, man. We love Jonah, man. Um so which interestingly enough, his business name was Big Mac Defense, and we're talking about Mac. That's interesting. But I figured it had to be, the 2011, or it had to be, a lot of people were like, was it a Sig 320? Was it a Sig 320? I knew that he wasn't putting a Sig 320 in his waistband. But no, we found out that it was actually, this is why every single gun owner needs to, I mean, this is such a serious matter. It does not matter what you carry, right? Guns have only been drop safe for like 45 years, right? Prior to that, all of the history of nearly all guns were not designed to be drop safe. So this is kind of a new thing, right? It was a Glock 43X. However, it was a Glock 43X with several aftermarket parts. And because there were aftermarket parts and parts changed, I'm suspecting that there was an error with the
Striker safety.
the plunger, the cylindrical plunger striker safety in the slide. And for you guys out there that have built or modified stuff, you have to put that tiny little cylindrical spring in the firing pin safety and push it up into the slide. And if you don't install those two components correctly, or if you don't use gravity and like push it up, use gravity to your advantage, if you were to flip it upside down and put it in like that, the spring could very easily fall out, be sideways, be canted, installed incorrectly or something. And if there was carbon buildup or a tiny little flake of jacketing or whatever it was,
Or
it
like
could be
we
pushed
talked
up.
about, is installing that bar inside of the, not the
trigger shoe, or
no, the housing, the catch that catches the striker and holds it back. If you install it in the
Oh, the
wrong
cruciform.
place,
Yeah, yeah.
if you install that cruciform in the wrong place and you
The
lower it
height would be off. Yeah.
off, and then that could send that. But
But then
like we
also,
talked about, you'd have to have that bar, that striker safety. That's why the Glock is great,
mhm,
is because without pulling the trigger, and this is also why it's great having that the dingus, as they called it in the Mac show,
yeah,
the trigger safety that's on the little thing that's in the trigger safety, that can't move. That
yeah.
trigger, that bar cannot move without pulling the trigger, which should engage the striker safety. Now, why the 320 is such a concern to me is because the striker safety is attached to the striker.
With a slower spring, a lighter spring,
Yeah.
and after running a bunch of rounds
And
through it,
sitting on a shelf.
yeah,
So
and
it pops off the shelf,
mhm,
right? Whereas the Glock, you literally have to get this little hook underneath it and it pushes it up. And that can't happen without the trigger bar moving. So the bar has to move. And I still to this day, and I don't think we'll ever know what was
yeah.
up with Jonah's gun. But, you know, I've taken mine apart and looked at it 100 times to try to figure out how could that possibly be a thing that
Well,
happens. That
and
Glock
every
is so
time,
drop safe that it's like
yeah,
there had to be super amounts of like Jovac, you said, tolerance stacking, but there has to be something wrong, or he forgot to even put it back in.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it could be. I've racked my brain on this, and every time I think I figure it out, I'm like, well, no, that other safety would stop it, right? The only way this would happen is if the firing pin safety was somehow ineffective, installed incorrectly, not installed, whatever, right? Something, right? And so the other thing, the trigger shoe we talked about, if someone were to upgrade the trigger shoe, right? Because the way the system works is you're how am I going to do this? Because I'm like kind of like backwards in here. So let's say this is
Well,
the
this is another
striker.
thing about the 43X.
Hmm.
There are trigger shoes that some of them say any Glock. Like the Ranger Proof, for instance, you can put a Ranger Proof shoe in a 43X or a 47,
Hmm.
and it doesn't matter. But there are shoes that say may not work with the 43X, may not work,
Hmm.
use at your own discretion, and may not work. So the angle of it is just slightly different to
Yeah.
the fact where,
Or maybe the safety didn't catch on the frame or
yeah,
something. Or like we
or
discussed,
some people cut the frame there.
yeah. Or another thing that could have occurred is, and I know this isn't the topic we were planning on discussing, but I mean it's important to discuss because this is the severity of this conversation of, well, I'm going to run my 320. Well, is it worth it? Right? If it, regardless, it brand, preference or your emotional connection to a brand or to your purchase or whatever
I don't
is
understand it.
so unimportant if you accidentally shoot yourself or one of your family members, right? Like it doesn't matter at that point.
But bro, there's just the two arguments to this right now is that every 320 that has gone off is negligence, and
Not their fault. They've tested everything. They can't duplicate anything, even though, like what, 2 weeks ago, they said a
you could
negative
send them
30
videos.
degree.
I've sent people videos. I've sent the one of the guy putting the holster in where it's out of battery, and that means that the striker safety isn't engaged, and then all of a sudden he pushes down on the holster a little more to get it all the way in, and it fired.
Mm,
And I've seen people recreate it, and I think there's a good understanding of how it happens. I just don't. I think at the end of the day, people don't want to admit ever they've been tricked or fooled, or they've been pointing this thing at themselves and carrying it for so long, and they haven't had any issues. So why should they?
yeah, why would they
Well,
change?
yeah, why believe the internet?
Yeah. And I get that, right? Because you can't take someone's personal experience away. Like when we talk about, and this is always a hot topic when we talk about placing different AR-15 brands into different categories of, low budget or, low tier, mid tier, high tier. People are like, no, I've got 76,000 rounds through it this morning and I've never had an
and
issue.
I shoot a quarter MOA at 600 yards with my Palmetto State Armory.
Yeah, it's like how can you take that experience away from them? You can't, right? Because that is there, provided that they're being honest. In the future, we'll need to ask for proof, right? But like, how could you take that personal experience away, right? Like my Anderson frontline, literally zero malfunctions. I've run that thing on a go fast lower. I've not put in like thousands and thousands of rounds through it, but so far for a very affordable gun,
I think the AR-15 is a very simple system
from a safety standpoint too. But that's sorry, real quick before I forget.
Yep.
What we were talking about with the 43X, the trigger shoe thing. There are some trigger shoes, like Red Dawn had mentioned, that where the trigger shoe, to encapsulate the trigger safety, you actually have to screw those tiny little, like 4/10 or whatever they are. I don't remember what they're called, but those tiny little screws, and usually they come with Loctite on them, and you torque them down to whatever spec the manual says. But if, let's just say, to add this one other aspect of if to what happened with Jonah, who unfortunately passed away from his injury, if all those other things occurred, or some of those other things occurred, and there was a possibility of fitment issues with the trigger, or if the screws backed out and the trigger safety just fell out all of a sudden.
I've had it happen, and I've had to call them and say, hey, I'm not touching this gun until you send me one of those. Yeah. And they did. Ranger Proof sent me one. They changed the design of their screws, and I added blue Loctite. But now looking back at it, even now, I'm like, that is something that can go off on the gun. Like, I'd rather just keep my gun stock almost at the level, or just run the Glock Performance trigger, which so far we haven't seen. But
there's also the issue of the performance trigger, that apparently the reason that it keeps pushing the trigger back out, usually once you fire the striker, yes, it brings it to a fully cocked striker, which seems like, the amount of rounds that I got through mine, probably 2,500 or so, it seems totally fine. But again, like, could there be an issue? Potentially, right?
Anything that's new, to trust it 100% with a minor explosive
pointed at your balls.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to think, like, wow, this is new to market, and it's like, okay, but that's also preventing something from exploding.
You can at least trust Glock. That's a go up.
That's why I've gone back to Glock. I'm like, look, bro, there's enough people with them. Your personal experience is good for a sample size of one.
Yeah.
That's what people have to realize. Like,
even if you have multiple 320s, like it's just using that as the example that we're talking about tonight, right? Like, if it's a sample size of 2 or 3, that is still a very, very small amount compared to the consequence. The risk isn't worth it, in my opinion. I'm not telling y'all what to do.
Think even the risk of the 320, it is still a very rare thing, but rare doesn't mean zero risk. However, there's never zero risk. But us talking about the Glock with Jonah, it's like, we can pinpoint exactly what this thing's doing. This is why I think this topic is extremely interesting. Whether you trust the 320 or don't trust the 320, you should understand exactly the mechanisms and how your freaking weapon works.
Yeah.
Like the back of your hand. You should know exactly what every piece of that gun is doing at every single moment, because and if you can't, and you just trust something blindly, like, more power to you. I'm just not one of those kind of people. I am more like, I need to understand that at a certain time, this part is going to wear first. this is what I'm going to see as a failure around this time. This is something that should be replaced and checked on ever so often. And I'm not checking the freaking MIMD Indian striker safety on a Sig 320. First of all, it's a pain in the butt of a system to deal with. It's not easy. It's got a million stupid little tiny springs and detents. And like, honestly, looking at a pistol and having that gun, I've had it. I've changed the trigger shoe on one of mine. And I don't want a gun that has all that complication to it. And I want something that I can quickly repair, quickly clean, quickly take it apart and inspect it.
Do you remember the first time you took out a 320 striker?
I don't think I ever took my strikers out. I took one out. I took one out at the gun store when we were this was a couple weeks ago. We were having this discussion and pulling it out, and I was talking to my boy in there who, I mean, he's like the armorer in there for the time being, and he knows a lot of stuff. And even he, like 3 weeks ago before that, was like, nah, man, I think it's BS. And then I was like, yo, let's do something real quick. Can you pull that striker out and let's take a look at it? And he was like, after looking at the striker itself, he was kind of like, I don't know about this design.
That thing looks like a Terminator arm, dude. It's kind of scary looking. Yo, Steve Whoop, my guy, welcome to the Kim Light Battalion, brother. Thank you so much. Steve Whoop has now become a YouTube channel member. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Look, literally almost 90% of the channel support comes from channel membership, and I really do so appreciate it. And another portion comes from I was about to call them our rants, not rants, super chats. Thank you so much, Black Diamond Guns and Gear. Josh, thank you so much, brother. $5 super chat. Dang, you got 12 dogs back there. Look at that thing. Yo,
bro,
that thing can
he's
eat
a
you.
beast, bro.
Look at that arm, dog.
Yeah.
That thing is the same size as my arm. Like,
he's a beast.
Black Diamond Josh, thank you. $5 super chat. He says, don't change internal parts if you're going to carry it. Excellent point. I mean, that's hitting on a lot of the stuff we talked about tonight. Like, I got no problem with, like, you want to run a 2011, run a 2011. You want to run a, you know, whatever, or like an Ed Brown with Meteor hammer and trigger setup, like, dog, whatever. But if you're going to,
you want a mini Draco with the safety off in your pants? Be my guest.
I mean, maybe not in the pants. I've seen it done though. I've seen it done. I want a dog, Red Dawn. Yo, Senor.
I'll send you a Chihuahua right now, Bob.
Man, the way things are going for me, I'm about to send you my Chihuahua too, dude. He's a Chihuahua Pomeranian.
I have a Husky Chihuahua. Who wants her?
Yo, Senor Bob, great to see you, my brother. Another channel member. Appreciate you. Yeah, so Black Diamond Josh, great point, man. And I would encourage all of you guys, dude, if you've pushed a Glock to like 5, 6, 7, even 10,000 rounds, you don't need to change the springs and the trigger. You can all I would change on a Glock moving forward. You can change some things, right? But like I would change the connector and the sights. Everything else, run it until it polishes itself out. You want it to be trustworthy. You want it to be safe. You want it to. The moment we start changing triggers and striker springs and hammer springs, I've done it too. I'm guilty, right? But it's not worth the risk, man. Because look, we've seen with what happened with Jonah with a Glock, right? Like, there is no firearm that is completely 100% without risk at all. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you, brother. Standard Draco is best Draco. 100%, bro. That's the one that I got. The chrome and plum. That's the thing right there, bro. Dark, where do I see where the channel memberships are? So depending on if you're on iPhone or what's the other one? Android. If you're on an iPhone, it'll say, like, there'll be a join button. Or if you don't see it when you're in stream, you may have to go to my like main channel page, and there should be a join button there. But anyone that does choose to join channel membership, Appreciate that, man. That's where the majority of the support comes to the channel. And aside from shopping at DLD Hardware and DefinitionKnives.com. Appreciate you guys. Frag out, brother. Great to see you, man. Yes, Android. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, but for most of these, like almost all of these Glocks behind me, even though they all look like they're all like modified, crazy Gucci Glocks, like all of these have internal OEM internal guts, right? Like I'm not changing anything. The only thing I'll change is the connector and the sights, and anything else I'm not messing with.
The only thing I've ever changed is the trigger shoe, and I've used a ghost connector once. Other than that, I'm not changing trigger bars. I'm not changing anything to do with the internals.
Frag out, yeah, Frag out Design Studios, $2 super chat. Thank you. He says, Ford boobs for the boobs. With a boob. Oh, maybe the I think I know what he's talking about. For the boo-boos? For the Definition Knives
For the boo-boos.
Band-aids? Is that what it is? Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Your background. Yes. Oh, for the boo-boos. Yes. That's literally right below us. It says for the boo-boos. Because if you take us out, you'll see behind us the band-aids are for the boo-boos. Yeah, so for me, I mean, I look at it like this. The interview was soft. It didn't answer anything. Sig literally just blamed all of their incidents on the users. They also, I love that he brought his Glock to the table. Like, so this is my Glock 45 Gen 5. This is my carry gun. Like, why don't you carry his? He did say he carried his Sig 365, but at times. But it's just kind of funny to see that. And then he proceeded to stick a Glock, Gen 5 45 with a light into multiple Safariland holsters, the 6000 series, 7000 series, and this new whatever. I haven't seen the holster yet, but it's some new, the Gilt or something like that. I don't know, not the Volt, it's something else. The Gilt. I mean, it was something like weird like that. And the internal Gilt. And then he was able to stick his finger through the hole for the light and bring his finger to the trigger and pull the trigger. I could not personally do that with my 6390, my 6360, my 6354 D0832. But I did when I went on the inside, which would actually defy everything that they said about the keys falling into the right side. Anyway, I was able to get in on the left side and literally, because you got to depress the trigger safety first and then bring it. I was able to do that once, and it was painful. It hurt to get my finger in there. But I noticed one strange thing. We'll bring up three strange things. Strange thing number one, they didn't try it with a Sig 320. They only did it with a Glock in 3 different holsters. I thought that was strange and unique. That's one thing. 2, they also said in this video, we're going to go out onto the floor and we're going to grab, we're going to let Tim grab random Sig 320s off the floor and literally just, bang on them and torture test them and just see if we can get them to go off. And then they said multiple things that they were gonna do, but that they didn't. I don't know if there's going to be maybe another follow-up video, or maybe if they're just, not.
It's still in editing.
Yeah, we'll take that out in post. Yeah, I thought that was really, really strange. All right, we'll do the giveaway in a sec. If you guys do want, because I feel like I got a couple extra. Let me do the math real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then okay, hold on. No, I do have 6. So 1. If Kurt and Drewski don't want to be put in, I believe I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I have 7. I have 7, and then I have Kurt and Drewski. So I think, honestly, I think we need to put Kurt and Drew in there. So 7, 8, 9. So I think if I get one more, it's up to you guys. You want to send $6 or $10? I don't care about the dollar amount that I get. But if you send one more Cash App, I'll do 2 giveaways. Dealer's choice. You guys get to pick whichever knife that you want, as long as they're in stock. And please don't both pick the DK1 because I literally only have a few left. Well, dang. So the Boyd's out of stock, and the DK1, I only have a few left. Dang. So okay, so you're gonna have to choose from the Aegean, the Birdshot, the Journalist, the Co-Pilot, and man, your dogs are freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other one? Co-Pilot, Aegean, Journalist, Birdshot. We'll see. We'll just afterwards we'll talk. Condition 1 requires a safety. Is that condition 1 is cocked and locked? Yeah, cocked and locked. Right? Condition 1. I don't remember all the conditions and all that. What's up,
Yeah.
Redneck Prepper? Good to see you.
Condition 3. I think condition 1 does require safety, right?
Yeah, I believe it's cocked and locked.
Hammer.
Yeah. But it also could be like, remember those para ordnance 1911s that kind of had a hammer, the LDA, the light double action, but not really. I guess, I mean, they did technically have a hammer, but it was like this little flat piece of steel that just laid over the striker. And someone mentioned this earlier too, by the way, about yes, the para ordnance LDA. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Did I? Oh, my bad. Well, there you go. That's my referral link for StreamYard if anyone wants to start live streams. My bad. I was trying to click on comment. So para ordnance LDA was the light double action trigger. That was pretty cool, but they're also Canadian, so that's gay. That's why M17 and 18 have a safety. See, but then here's the issue. So that safety prevents
Take care of these guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. That trigger prevents the safety from being pulled, but it doesn't prevent the striker from hitting the primer. The only thing that prevents the striker from hitting the primer is that little dog. Hey, that's what's up, brother. Oh, you bought 2 entries, my guy. You got it, man. I'll put you in there twice. We'll give 2 away. And then we're gonna need the honor system in here, all right? Because I'm only gonna ask. I'll double check before we run it. I'm gonna ask for the people that contributed to do the hashtag. No one else can do it, and you'll know if you sent a Cash App or not. And then if we have some effery, we'll have to do it a different way. But I trust you guys. Y'all are good people. I know, y'all know the thing. So the same kind of thing on a 1911, right? So okay, several safeties on a 1911. Let's say a Series 70 1911. And because I need some nicotine, enjoy this for a moment.
It's just gonna blow up.
No, it won't blow.
All right, for sure.
My apologies. So, okay, 1911 for an example. Let's discuss the 70 series. So with the 70 series, they did not have a firing pin block. It was the resistance that the striker had was the heft and weight of the spring. That is, it's referred to as a floating firing pin. And the only thing that kept it from pushing all the way through forward to the primer was, the lack of inertia from the hammer driving it forward. But with no firing pin safety in the slide, nothing physically blocking the firing pin. The beaver tail safety, what some people call the lemon squeezer, that only prevents the trigger from being pulled. But if it were to be dropped, the firing pin could still override with enough inertia, could override, go right through and hit the primer. The manual safety could literally only prevent the trigger from being pulled. It won't prevent the striker from, or the firing pin from hitting the primer. Which is why the 80s series was born. The 80s series did turn the 1911 trigger to a less nice, crisp, smooth trigger, but it gave you the added benefit of not shooting your balls off. So that was a good thing. The sleeves. Is it the sleeves thing again?
It's the sleeves thing.
So that was a thing. 2011s, when 2011s came out, it was like the original STIs and the staccatos, and which, you know, staccato, like STI became staccato. I think whatever that happened. Those were crazy light, crisp, excellent triggers based off the original 70 series design, which was basically banking on a prayer that the firing pin would not have enough, you know, inertia from a drop or an impact or something to push itself through because it's still a pretty substantial spring, right? But like that's why the new staccato HDP4 that takes Glock magazines was introduced by saying the new, including a firing pin safety. What? Hold on. What happened to all those other guns that y'all were selling? Did those not have firing pin safeties in? Well, let's check out all those videos Grantham did. And like they're just going off. Ed Brown's going off. Staccatos going off. So just be very, very cautious. If you're gonna rock a 2011, rock a 2011, but I wouldn't carry a 2011. Just my personal thing. Because also one of the guys on my church security team, he had an HDP4 staccato that took the Glock mags before SHOT Show even started. I guess he has like a hookup at staccato, right? He said he was able to get it to go off even though it has a firing pin safety. So just be cautious of what you're getting. Get something tried and true, and don't trust what strangers on the internet like us say. Get some, like time behind the gun. Get some, study the schematics. Do something. Anyway, so 2011s are too fat, dude. I like 2011s. I don't love them, but I like 2011s. I'm just not gonna get one, carry one, put one on my kit. Dude, I kind of cringe when I see all these dudes running 2011s on their kit. I'm like, bro, what if you just fall? Like what? I mean, in a fight. If you've been in a fight before, put
two world wars, man. 2 world wars.
Yeah, it's funny because people forget about 9mm when they say 2 world wars. 9mm has also been through and won 2 world wars as well. So just remember that, y'all. And it's come very far technologically. But if you've been in a fight, put a 1 in chat and tell me, going against the full resistance of another human being, a grown adult male, is not something difficult where people get pushed around, tossed around, punched, hit, fall on the ground, wrestling, tumbling, rumbling. Like, bro, that thing is gonna get, if someone judo throws you onto the ground and the right side of you where your gun may be holstered,
it's
hits
like
the
that
concrete.
scene in Terminator. You just
Which
throw
one?
it down the stairs.
Oh yeah, and that was the Mac 11, right? That was Eraser? No, not Eraser. True Lies.
True Lies.
It felt. And why did that happen in the movie? Because that was like what, the 90s? The century prior to that was all about if you drop guns, them things are gonna go off if they're cocked and locked. And that's an open bolt Mac 11, which, anyway. Problem is 92s are not conductive to optics. Yeah, I love my M9A3. I just don't see the value of getting an M9A4 to put an optic on it, especially since like there are barely any like quality holsters, Safari Land holsters, things like that. You can run on your kit to even put an optic on it anyway. So I'm just not going to mess with it. And yeah, not only so Frag Out says I did a design on a 2011 way back. Check out his work; it's awesome. But also, he also designed the Definition Knives logo, the little stick man. And for those of y'all that didn't see him,
Nice. I
we're
didn't know
3D
Frag Out designed
printing.
it.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Nah.
And your boy is doing the CAD for
That thing's
these.
awesome.
Rich actually helped with the file as well. Because my original one was like slightly off. I couldn't size it right. Rich is very good with CAD. I'm like
What is
CAD
the
baby.
best adjustable gas block for an AR rifle?
Say that again. Sorry, I was reading this.
Tim Harper asks, what's the best adjustable gas block for an AR rifle? Yes, that is correct, Steve Whoop. In my opinion, it is the Rifle Speed gas block. You do have to have the
hold
right
on.
amount of barrel and rail length and stuff to have one, but
Real quick, I just got to hit a couple. Joshua says we should all switch to double action, single action, super safe to carry. I love that you squeezed super safe in there, but it depends. A lot of people will not carry a hammer fire gun. If there's anything that can get in between them and them squeezing off around their gun and them squeezing off around, let me see. There was one other thing. Okay, Steve Whoop. All right, we got to discuss this really quickly. Steve Whoop says, optics on the pistols are absolutely gay. Now, this was a quote by, I'm just kidding. There's no reason a civilian would need lights or dang old red dots on the dang old slides. And, these stupid civilians out here think they're out here running the dang old military freaking, you dumb old, civilians, y'all are worthless, never served a day in your life. Sorry. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
I think optics on pistols are not a must, but I think they improve performance, and I think you can shoot out to farther distances. I mean, maybe not. I mean, I think it's just preference. Actually, I'm just gonna go with that because I've seen people shoot irons really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it can take a newer shooter and make them more accurate quicker. I think. I think it's just a piece of technology that could also fail, and I would never run a red dot like how competitive shooters do with no sights on it or anything. Like I like having a pair of sights.
Yeah. Especially if that's how you learned,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think a dot is faster to be more accurate, especially at distance. I think like if you were going to take a 35-yard shot, boom, it takes me 2 seconds to hit that with a red dot. But I probably should go back and shoot irons often because I don't think I'm going to miss the shot either way. Like I really don't.
I'll be real, and you bring up a good point.
Probably a little quicker. No, that's about it.
The red dot's quicker.
Yeah, a little quicker, a little more confidence in pulling that trigger. Like,
yeah,
it's like dot a little high or a little low, boom.
So I went out shooting with one of the security guys from church, and he was like, "We're gonna do a 31-3," and I was like, "A 31-3." I've done tons of drills, never heard of a 31-3. He said it's a 30-yard shot, one shot in under 3 seconds, and it's got to be a T-zone headshot. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So I crack one off, and it's like right under 3. And I realized, I was like, man, I'm like leaning on my iron sights. I'm not, drawing, pushing out and finding the optic and bam, like I was leaning on the iron sights. And when I do take longer shots, I'm leaning on the iron sights. When I'm clapping silhouettes at 100, I'm using the sights. I'm usually not using the optic. I'm using all of them, right?
Really?
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because like that's what I'm programmed with. Because for so long I was
Like
just
I
running.
like I told you, I pulled out the Glock 47. I was
Mhm.
135 yards away. I held slightly above the head with the dot, bink, and I was like, I
Where were
didn't
your
even think
sights
of
at though?
irons.
You didn't even look at them,
Nah, I looked at my dot.
and your dot sighted in at what 30?
20, 20, 15, 20, in between 15, 20.
Okay. Yeah, so I thinking back on it, sighting in, I don't know if my dot was sighted in at 30 yet because I didn't like follow all the rules. I was like my way's better, so I just started like doing random stuff. Like I would get the dot, and then when I get it, I would put it at the front sights, and then when I took it to the range, I would sight it in at whatever I could, 25 feet, 50 feet, and I also wasn't getting the results that I wanted either. When I started sighting my dots in at 30 yards, it was like, oh, that's how that works. So I think it's imperative that new shooters get very comfortable and start with iron sights. And a lot of new shooters now can go to the store and for under $1,000 get a gun with an optic and a light. And it's like you probably want to master at least be on the path of
I
mastering the
prefer
fundamentals.
I prefer racking the gun with an optic on it. I think it's easier to
Sure.
grab the optic and rack the gun, right? I do prefer how smooth the gun is without an optic and how there's nothing to snag on, there's nothing to poke you a little bit.
Mhm.
I think they carry a little bit better without a dot. I mean, this is the way I look at dots is like if it is going to give you an advantage, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That's like I don't know, it's like the two is one is none type prepping quote. It's
Yeah.
like it's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it.
Yeah.
So some things it's an added benefit at times, and I think it's been reliable. I think dots are in the age we're in, like
They've come
Gideons.
super far, bro.
Yeah, like you're dealing with pretty reliable pieces of technology that aren't that expensive. And if
Mhm.
it does give you an advantage, even if it's only a confidence advantage, why not? I mean, but on the other hand, like I think if you shoot enough, it doesn't matter what the hell you're using. It really doesn't, dude.
As
If
long
you
as you
shoot
hit,
often,
yeah.
you're gonna hit.
As long as you hit fast and time yourself, because that which gets measured gets improved. And that quote existed way before active self-protection. I'm just saying. Joshua I'm not saying your last name because I don't know how to say it. Brake says you're thinking of Ken Hackathorn. Yeah, I was referring to the incident, the video conversation with Ken Hackathorn and Masad Ayub, where they're like, there's no reason that any civilian would need a dang old, red dot and a light. You're not special operations or whatever. I'm like, bro,
No,
why
you're
would
not
you
special
not?
operations, so you should walk around with your shit like this.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna walk around with my my goon
Click,
beam
click, click,
in the
click.
left hand and then my gun in the right hand and yell, please stop.
Yeah.
It's like, get it,
A
please.
light on a pistol simplifies stuff a lot.
Yeah, and like having a handheld off to the side, Goon Beam, shout out, simplifies a lot. And then if you need, never point a light at something you need to point your gun at, and never point your gun at something you need to point a light at, right? Like it's the same thing we talked about the OC spray. Never OC spray someone that needs to be shot, and never shoot someone that needs to be OC sprayed. It's a separation of your force multipliers. But I also agree with his other comment. He says, incidentally, his style of iron sights are fantastic. Totally agree. Hackathorn style sights are excellent. Tritium front, blacked out serrated rear. I crush silhouettes with that setup. Love it. And I love it with the red dot too.
Mm-hmm.
But I disagree with everything that he stated.
I don't know why. I
you.
just don't trust fiber optic sites to last.
No,
I've
no.
seen them move, and
Have you ever done the whole thing where you change them out, burn them, and install them?
yeah, and I just am not a fan of it. I mean, I'm sure someone makes something that is good. I just haven't come across it, and I don't want to see. I think changing out iron sights is more pain in the butt than installing a red dot. It's a pain in the
For
butt.
sure. Yeah, yeah. It is. If you're not set up, don't have the tools, the pusher, and all that. I
I
honestly
have a
just
Glock sight pusher, and I
yeah.
still don't like it. I've been on the phone with you and had screws break in the freaking sight.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's just a pain in the butt. A red dot
Yeah,
is change a battery and you're back running. And batteries and nowadays batteries last years.
yeah.
So it's like,
But always have good steel sights. So
yes.
you know.
But I don't think it's something that you can be like, I don't like these anymore. Let's change them. 6 months. I don't like these ones anymore. Change them. Like, I don't want to. I mean, you could, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Very true. Tavinho says, to be fair, John Correa says he has seen a weapon light used by a civilian like 2 times in thousands and thousands of videos he's reviewed. Totally agree. Absolutely.
I would just say that John Correa hasn't seen every incident that's ever occurred,
Yeah,
though.
for sure. But also,
He's seen a lot, but
yeah, I would also espouse, is that the correct word, espouse? I would also guess or assume that most civilians aren't even running weapon lights, right? Or I've never
that's the other
seen
case.
a situation where someone draws a handgun with a light and doesn't use it. I've only seen people draw handguns that don't have lights equipped on. You know what I mean? Like, but I've also never seen a civilian in watching I watch all those videos. I think any encounter where somebody is, using lethal force or potentially using lethal force, or there's an encounter where someone draws, or I've personally been in, at least one encounter that I'll talk about where I've drawn my handgun and like, I wish I had a light. Things could have potentially ended differently.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Carrying a gun with no optic and no light on it, it's much more comfortable. It's much lighter.
Oh
It's
yeah,
easier. It's
all
better.
day.
But I'm just for throw it on there, and if you need it, it's there. Like
I'm gonna take every cheat code that I can get,
it's
bro.
better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And it does keep the barrel down a little bit.
Yes, and also right now
Stop that one.
less felt recoil.
Less felt recoil. Man.
Oh, you simpletons. I'm just kidding. But I will say this right now, currently in my pants, because I carry in my home. And although I don't make any recommendations, and if you take advice from me, you're stealing, it would be most advantageous for protectors, for prepared citizens, whatever, to carry a gun inside your home. Currently inside my home, I am carrying a Glock 19X with a TLR7 Alpha, the matching FDE one because it's dope, with no red dot on it. It's the old school 19X with nothing. It's just the brutally reliable, stupid gun that if I had to put someone down to save myself or my family or preserve the innocent life of my daughter in Chihuahua, I'm just kidding, that's property. But anyway, if I needed to, God forbid, ever use my handgun in a self-defense situation, take my $550 19X that I don't care about. I have 40 Glocks, so whatevs. I have a pistol light, and I carry an EDC Goon Beam full-size light. Yes, absolutely. I always carry with a light. I sometimes, mostly, carry with a dot, and sometimes I'll switch it up. Usually this is my bag gat, but I took my bag gat out of my bag and put it on my waistband because I just haven't been carrying a gun in my bag because I've had to leave my bag in the car for several situations. So I just didn't feel comfortable leaving a gun in a bag in a car, Anyway, let's move on. So here's what I'm going to ask. For all of you that contributed a Cash App, let me see how many we got here. So we got 1, and then we have 2. Dang, this is confusing with you guys that sent 2. Hang on. So Bust Them Guns. Hold up. Okay, Bust Them Guns sent 2. He's got 2 spots. Blue Curtain Burner. I see. Blue Curtain Burner. Okay. And then, okay, so 1, 2, 3. Not my name. 4. Tex Bullington. 5. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. 6. Thank you for using the same picture on your profile, by the way. Is that 2? 7. And then Kurt 24 and Drewski 7, 8, 9. So we have 9. So we have close enough to 10. So we'll do 2. We'll do 2 giveaways. So I'll put you in twice, Bust Them Guns. So here's what we're going to do. Let me pull up this giveaway tool. Now, you guys that did not contribute, I'm asking for you guys to please, let's use the honor system. All right. Because I can look in here and look in the chat and see who contributed. And I would ask for the moment that we run this, when I ask them to put in the hashtag, I would ask you guys to chill out on chat for a second. StreamYard giveaway tool. Okay. Oh, come on. No, I don't need a... There we are. Okay. Dope.
That's crazy, Mike McClellan.
Oh, this is going to be good. Okay. It's going to be a long one. Okay. But it's not case sensitive. Let me make sure this is correct.
6 go boom.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Okay. So I am going to pull this up. All right. So again, only type in. So please take a second, chill and chat. Don't type anything in chat, guys, for a minute. Okay. We got almost 60 people in here. So I'm going to ask you guys, once I show this, only the people contributed, and we're going to check, and we'll literally start the whole thing over if anyone else, tries to jump in there that didn't pay, because that's not fair to the people that did contribute. We're going to do the hashtag giveaway. So basically, you're going to put in a hashtag and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Okay. So for those of you that sent a Cash App of $6, or some sent 6 and 10 because I'm, tarded, I would ask you guys to now put in this hashtag in the chat. Ready?
Siggers be sigging.
3, 2, 1, go. Hashtag it ends today 320.
It ends today.
It ends today 320.
It'll never end. I don't think it'll ever end.
I know. And you know what? Look, with what they're doing, and again, guys, please hold your messages for now until we get the giveaway done. The giveaway is only for people that contributed the $10 to the Cash App. So please, if you didn't, please don't type in a whatchamacallit. And we're gonna do 2, because honestly, we got so close to 2. We got 80, $90, which is well, that's actually the cost of one DK1, but still, we'll do the thing. And beautiful. Thank you, guys. Okay, so here's the deal with the whole it ends today thing. Really, this is an opportunity for Sig, because a lot of people that weren't really committed to their brand, if they feel like that Sig's being attacked and that their purchase is being attacked, they're jumping all in, 10 toes down, Sig all the way, and it's probably bringing a great deal of people to them, because now they're researching SIGs, they're researching Sig 320s, they're you know what I'm saying? I'm sure is, getting them at least traffic, if not additional revenue, not to mention the bajillions of dollars that they're getting from the contracts. All right, so if you sent the Cash App This isn't for everyone. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, keep it real with you guys. If you sent in the Cash App to participate in the waffle, then do me a favor, put in hashtag it ends today 320. I see Fluffy Bunny. I see Eric Stockbridge. I see Not My Name. But again, this is only for people that contributed to the Cash App. So please don't everyone type in the hashtag, because it only goes to the people that contributed. So please just hold back for now. Okay, cool. So we got Bust Them Guns. Thank you, brother. Bust Them Guns, Not My Name, Eric Stockbridge, Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. Now we need Tex Bullington, and we need Blue Curtain Burner. And Drewski, you got to type it in, bro, because you guys both contributed, man. I know you don't want to, but you and Kurt both earned a slot. So Kurt 24 and Drewski, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, go ahead and type it in again. It has to be as it's written. So you can go ahead and type it again. It won't enter you twice or anything. It's just one per, but we'll do it twice because I know you bought two. There you go. Beautiful. Kurt 24, if you are still here too, go ahead and enter that in chat. I can't add anyone. I wish I could just add you. But this is for the people that sent in a Cash App contribution. So please only do this if you put in a Cash App contribution. Okay, so we got Bustin' Guns. So we need Blue Curtain Burner. We got Not My Name, right? We got Not My Name in here. Yep, we got Not My Name. Fluffy Bunny. So we need Blue Curtain Burner and Kurt. If we don't get Blue Curtain Burner and Kurt, then you know what we can do? I'll go for Blue Curtain Burner.
Okay.
You go for Kurt. Ground Fog, this is only for people that had contributed to the Cash App. It's not open for everyone. Sorry. It's like a waffle. So people contributed like $10, and I'm giving away 2 knives. So all right, so you go for Kurt 24, and I'll go for Blue Curtain Burner. And Ground Fog, if you could pull your message out for me, I'd appreciate it, man. Sorry. Usually I know, dude. I totally. If I just jumped in and saw this, I'd type it in right away. That's why I keep repeating myself, So yeah, I hate to do that, right? It's just, it was a weird thing, and I was like, hey, if each of you guys give $10, and I'll give away a knife, and then it worked so well that it happened twice. There we go. I did it for you. Oh, did it not work? Let's try refreshing. How can I refresh? I can't refresh. Okay, I think it's already out. Let me check. So sorry guys, hang tight for 1 second. We're just doing a quick little boop-de-boop. Okay, it pulled it out. Beautiful. All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. It's I hate doing that. I'll tell you what, it may have still collected it, okay? And it's not your fault, Ground Fog, because I was saying, I was just in the process of repeating it. So for anyone just coming in, this giveaway is closed to just the people that had contributed to Cash App. So please don't come in and just thank you, Tavino. Yeah, don't come in and just type in the hashtag. It's only for the people that contributed via Cash App, and it's already closed out here. Let's see. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, you're smart. See, Drewski, you should be running the live stream. You and Kurt could be my it may still have accepted his entry. So let me see. Sorry guys, give me 1 sec. Okay, here it is. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh dang! It did take it. If it does select you ground fog, then that'll be blue curtain burners, or we'll just respin. So just hang tight. My apologies. I'm just gonna do this for well, I have to do it so you guys can see it, because otherwise I'm just gonna do it. It may still have ground fog in there. Yeah, it still has ground fog in there. All right, so this is for the first one. Dealer choice. You get to pick. Boom, 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 boom. Eric Stockbridge. Woo! You're the winner of the first one. Dealer's choice. The only thing is that unfortunately right now we can't do the DK1 or the Boyd. I only have a few left, and I've already promised a couple stores that they're getting it. So my apologies. I originally said you could pick anyone out there, but
Eric, get that new one, dog.
Dude, the Aegean is nasty. It is. That's literally like when I just dropped a video, like literally like 11 orders came through like that. Like that one is super popular. Very cool. Like there's like a little bit of an arc to it a little bit, because it's like kind of placed like forward. I'll have to show it again. So Eric Stockbridge, congrats on the first one. Do me a favor, send me an email or an Instagram DM. I will get them out tomorrow. We're drawing for the second one now. Ground fog, if it's you, I'll have to push to someone else or draw again. I'm sorry, but it's not your fault. It's mine. You know, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at me. I'm just kidding. So let's see. So mine was for blue curtain burner. Yours was for sorry, ground fog. We're gonna have to draw again. I had a feeling it would. It's not your fault. Again, that's me. That's my bad. All right, so let's see who this is. Not my name. Fluffy Bunny. BTG. DLD. Red Dawn. Not my name. Drewski. Well deserved.
Drew doesn't have an Aegean yet, does he? Drew, did you pick up an Aegean yet?
He did. If he doesn't have it already, it's going to be there in like a day. And I threw a bunch of extra stuff in there too. Like I threw in the Chubb mod. You know what? Anyone that contributed to the Cash App tonight, because honestly, I appreciate y'all so much, man. This is a massive amount of support that helps. Y'all have no idea. Okay, even just for ammo. Dude, it's so great.
Great.
I think what I'm gonna do is add a Chubb mod in. If you have so Eric Stockbridge and Drewski, if you have a Safariland holster, well, Drewski, I already sent a few to Drewski. Yeah, I think I actually sent a few. So I don't think you'll need it, but congratulations, man. I appreciate y'all, man. The support is huge. Like thanks. Let's give another try run. What do you mean? You want me to do it, to give it yours to someone else? Is that what you're saying? Oh dang, Steve Whoop. Yo, thank you, brother. I'll throw a bunch of stuff in there. As long as I can tell it's you, I'll you don't have one, Eric. Okay, all right. If there's a way for me to tell that it's you, or that it's someone that came from YouTube, then I usually put a bunch of stickers in there. I try to throw in other stuff too, like the little DK keychain and stuff like that. See if someone else wins it. Well, so the way that it works is it will pull out each person that wins. So now it says there's 5 entries. Are you sure? Give me the go or the no. I have plenty of knives. Okay. All right. Well, Drewski is kind enough to allow someone else to win. Drew, you are an incredible person that is always giving to others. Thank you so much. We love you for it. And this is why we built such an incredible community here. So 3, 2, 1. Thanks to Drew. Boom. Let's do this. Fluffy Bunny DLD. Bust some guns. Red Dawn. Diggity. I think it's going to be bust them. Not my name. Congrats. I know it's hard, man. Look, anytime I've done a waffle, like congrats to all you guys. And
I personally love waffles.
I like them too, but I'm not gonna lie. Like some of the waffles that I've done that are like $50, like, buying 2 slots at $50, like I want this Shogun slide. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. And then it's like, oh dang, I just dropped $100 and got nothing, So
Mhm.
I dislike that aspect of it because it kind of it stings a little bit, but I wish I could do more. I wish I could give away, 6 of them or 8 of them to all people that contributed, but I'm limited to what I can do. Plus, if Flying Rich knew that I was just giving knives away for under MSRP, he would be really mad at me right now. So don't tell him. So send me an email or hit me up on IG. Most of you guys already know, you know, uh, you got my email, you got my IG. Um, Nikolai Alatsas says P320 stacking intolerances, and you guys are running raffles. Well, I mean, we spent the first 2.5 hours talking about the Sig 320, so
They're
that's
assault
probably,
raffles.
yeah, they are assault raffles. So be careful. So close. It's all good. I know it stings when I do them too. It stings, brother. But look, I appreciate all y'all so much, man. For real.
I won a giveaway on Instagram recently.
That's right. You did. We were talking about that company as well recently. So
Excess sights. You know which ones I asked them for?
thank you, brother. Which one?
Their AR-15 Canon sights.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm
Dang.
sure they were expecting like, oh, I'll have a set of Glock sights. I was like, so you said pick any sights I want, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, dude. I
I think I'm
went
gonna put
down
them on the
Tripp's
guys
rabbit
league.
hole. I personally have only watched Focus Trip a couple times, but I heard he did some of the meme, like taking the Sig dude saying, like, there's never been any evidence, we've never been able to duplicate, and then he put in a bunch of the guns going off, and so I got to go and watch it. But look, I appreciate y'all coming in, tuning in, hanging out, man. And yeah, straight up, dude, Not My Name brings up a good point. He says, thank you so much for giving me the redraw. Drew, you're the man. Appreciate all y'all so much, man. For real. You guys are awesome. And it helps cover the cost of the knives and shipping. And a couple people get free knives. Just do me a favor, shoot me an email or hit me up on IG. I'll drop this right here just so you guys got it. Sometimes YouTube doesn't let you put links in chat. It should let me, though. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. Yep, boom. Boom bop, bing bop, boom bop, bam. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up. Dude, it's funny when we're like an hour and a half, and here we are. But before we get out of here, Red Dawn, remind everyone again who you are, what you do, where they can find you. Rip, welcome.
What's up, Rip? Civilian Outpost on YouTube, and then also my main channel is Red Dawn Readiness on every other platform: Instagram, Rumble, X, YouTube. But definitely sub up to Civilian Outpost, and maybe I can get things right once in my YouTube life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just a guy who loves Jesus and trying to raise good kids in a screwed up world.
Yeah. Tech, I just saw your chat too, by the way. Yeah, so you probably can't drop a link as well. That's the YouTube is like that unless you're a mod or the creator. But so Tech Money has been having a really difficult time, and I know we hadn't chatted in a little bit, but it seems like you're still going through a difficult time, and it sucks, dude, because look, for every single person that I talk to that's struggling, man, I wish I could put everyone's stuff out there, man. But Josh is going through it. CRS's family is going through it. Tech is going through it, and a lot of people right now are struggling. And it may look like oh well, Dark just got like $70 and give it. I mean, I'm just the cost of the knives and shipping and stuff like that. I'm just trying to give to y'all and cover the cost. So I don't want people to think that I'm just doing this for money, because both of the knives, I'm sending them out at way below cost, you know. But I will tell you that Tech is one of the homies. Has been one of the homies for a long time, and he kind of inherited a really, really difficult, challenging situation. And because you guys out there have been real ones for a long time, you've been part of the channel for like forever, years. So if anyone out there is able to help and contribute, or if you want to like learn more about his situation and what's going on and why he needs help, hit him up. He's got an Instagram as well, Tech Money. I believe it's under Gorilla Farm. Hit him up and you can chat with him and check in with him. I know a lot of you guys, you know, talk like offline too. But if a whole bunch of you just sent a few bucks, it would have a massive impact on him and help him get himself out of a situation that he did not put himself into. So it's interesting looking at like Josh, who's getting sued totally out of his hands. He's already dumped over 10 grand into it, and now he has to come up with another 15 grand. And you know, CRS's family, oh bro, I'll just say, because I think they'd be okay, they're behind on their mortgage. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to get too much into the details, but they're behind on their mortgage. A lot of us are struggling out there, so there are ways to help everyone that's going through tough times out there. So you know, keep that in mind. And right below is Tech's Cash App right here. Hashtag Tech Money with 2 N's. So remember that. And if you guys could contribute, that would help a lot. And I appreciate all y'all, man. Sub up to Red Dawn. Make sure we show him some love, man. That's super important, man. There's the fact that he, who has a channel, right? Red Dawn has a channel. He has a, you know, a Rumble. He has a YouTube. He's got an Instagram and all this stuff. And he takes time away from his channel to come on my show and to have these conversations with you guys. So the best gift that we can give back to him is just by simply clicking subscribe to Red Dawn Readiness, subscribe to Civilian Outpost, subscribe on Rumble and all that. So that's the best way to give back to him. And yeah, just as a reminder, man, I would encourage all of you guys. At times it really feels like we're in the end times, whether we are or are not, because no man knows the day or time. I would encourage all of you guys to get right with your family, to get right with God. And if any of you out there don't know what that looks like to get right with God, feel free to hit me up. Feel free to hit up Red Dawn, hit up Josh with Black Diamond Guns and Gear, Flying Rich. Any of us would be happy to talk about Christ and how our lives have been changed by Christ as well. And before I do my thing, anything you want to close on?
Praise God, even in the storm. I mean, storms are going to come, but you know, I'm telling you, it's better for you and better for all of creation that you just always praise God. As long as you are healthy or you have another breath left in your life, man, I think about still going through stuff, but it's just life's crazy, man. And there's so many ups and downs, but you know, continue to be a warrior.
Yep.
Continue to be a warrior, y'all.
Dude, that's hey, thank you, Nikolai. I appreciate you, man. God bless, brother. Thank you. And I'm glad that the algorithm brought me back to you as well. It's probably just Sig 320 stuff putting, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, that's what it does. We probably got more views tonight just because we were discussing the whole 320 debacle. But yeah, absolutely. Praise God. All glory goes to him. Everything that happens and doesn't happen in your life is, you know, due to our Creator. And look, guys, regardless of who's in the office, regardless of you know, whose leadership we're under, remember that we're in a culture war, and it is important that you take on the role of a culture warrior. Okay, and as men, as leaders in our community, as spiritual leaders in our household, as leaders within our church, or you know, within your own community, in your own setting, it's important that we hold ourselves to higher standards and expectations. And some of the rules that I like to share with you at the end of every show are: rule number 1 is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So be kind. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed. because a hand that's open to give is open to receive. But I want you to remember, never give to get. All right, that's not what I mean by that. I mean, just by blessing others, it opens you up to the potential of blessings, but never give to get. That's not what I mean by that. And actually, the Bible says that as well. Rule number 3, quite possibly the most important. Well, it made the top 3. Because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence, make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. But what we mean really quickly by become as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, you better be damn good with that handgun. You better be damn good with that rifle. Excuse my language. And you better train. If you don't know how to train, what do? You seek out a coach. Seek out a coach and you pay them monies or something to make sure that you are elevating to become as dangerous as possible. And the more dangerous we become, while also remaining a good person, a moral person that makes the right decisions, that can still have those skills, but also the responsibility and discernment of not using them. That's what we mean. Just be good men. Be prepared to commit violence, and under self-preservation, the preservation of other life, innocent life. That's what I mean by that. Anyway, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, don't let your kids be gay.
Oh, no. No.
All right, y'all. Have a good night. Peace. Last thing, another huge thank you to Drewski for allowing the respin. That was super kind of you to basically purchase 4 slots and then give it away when you won. Pure Chad. Love you, brother. Love all y'all. Have a good night. Mike McClunsky, I see you. All y'all have a good night. Bye.